Welcome to the next episode of Count the Bucket. As CJ thinks, what in the world is Michael doing right now? I don't know, man. I'll just be honest with you. With the free agency and the trades and everything that's been going on, the signings, I've been really excited for this episode. I have actually tried to come online yesterday at 9:30 because I thought yesterday was Sunday because I was so excited. So can't wait to get in here, talk about all this stuff that's went on. I can't even keep up with half of the signings that's went on. Someone's going here, new place here. So can't wait to dive into our show, Count the Bucket episode, who knows what. I'm just ready to get this going. But before we get started, what I care most is how are you guys doing today? Are we having a good 4th? Happy 4th to you all as well.
Happy 4th, brother. All is well, man. Ready to get on the grill. Go to some barbecues, eat swell tomorrow. How y'all guys doing?
It's like 95 degrees out here in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
For some reason, I have a cold. I don't know how, but hey, I'm here though. I'm good. I'm still healthy. I'm here though. It's just kind of a weird combination. It's hot as hell out here, and I don't know, man. It's wild.
Just stay refreshed.
Stay refreshed with our Count the Bucket specialty drink.
Or coming soon, man.
Has vitamin C, vitamin D.
Yes, sir. And H2O. But
H2O, definitely.
We're only a minute into this. I feel like we should be talking more about how everything's going. What do you got planned other than some barbecue and everything? Fireworks?
Fireworks, definitely.
Fireworks, yeah. I don't want to be like JPP, but keeping it calm. Nah,
said too much. I apologize. I actually seen a picture of one of my buddies. He actually lives in Florida. Come think about it, Nick. And apparently from 40 feet away, he took one to the leg earlier. He said, so he's kind of in some pain. But guys, if you shoot off your own fireworks, be careful. Don't be dumb.
Definitely be careful. Definitely.
Back it up, Terry. But we're going to go out tomorrow. Our city here, we're going to be doing fireworks tomorrow. The other city that's close by, about 15 minutes away, they're doing fireworks now. Half my family's there. But I just didn't want to go today because the 4th is tomorrow. So I'm going to take the kids. We went to the beach today, and by beach to my kids, what they think is the beach. It's really our lake that we have here. It's got a little sand beach, and I'm like, let's go to the beach, guys.
Why you tease them like that, man? Why you tease them like that?
Nah, hey, they're pure, and that's what they think is the beach, so we're going to keep it that way, But we're going to grill out tomorrow. I think hamburgers, hot dogs on our end with some chips, different things like that. Got to have watermelon on the 4th, like it is.
Oh, my God, no. Get that thing out of your house right now.
What? Really?
Yes, I hate watermelon. I can't stand watermelon.
That kind of breaks my heart. Of course, my daughter, my oldest daughter, if I salt, because I don't know if you don't even like watermelon, but I always put salt on my watermelon. And I think it's heavenly, but she will not touch it if it has salt on it. And today at the table, we had watermelon before the 4th. We already had it cut up and hadn't had a chance to salt it yet. And she would not even let me touch the bowl. Like, she kept it to herself. I'm like, okay, you know what? Go ahead. I'll wait till tomorrow to have my watermelon. But, real quick, because I've always been a watermelon fan, and I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there.
Food segment. We're here.
Little food app here.
Let's get it.
I'm a picky eater, okay? And I haven't really tried too many different things, but my wife got me to try pineapple probably a couple years ago. And I thought watermelon was the best ever. But pineapple is good.
Pineapple is great. Yeah.
I did not know this, and I feel like I've missed out on so much in life because it's really been about 2 years of pineapple consumption for me. So, wow. Do y'all do any sugar or salt on pineapple? I'm just throwing that. I have no idea.
I've never actually did it. No,
I've never
you don't
tried
even have to do anything to it, right? I mean, it's
I don't
that good.
I don't add anything extra to my fruit. No,
I keep it. Yeah, I just keep it how it is. Still tastes great.
It's the natural juices, man.
Exactly.
I agree. Let's just go with what's your favorite fruit, vegetable, whatever out of a garden as pure as can be? Like, I love cucumbers as well. We had cucumbers today. You don't what? Nick? What is that face? And now you put some salt on cucumbers.
Could tolerate it.
Tolerate it?
Yeah, it's not. It's not top of my list. Comes to fruit,
Nah.
Okay,
Is that considered a fruit or vegetable?
I'm pretty sure it's a fruit.
It's a fruit. Yeah, it has seeds.
It's a fruit. Wow.
You tomato's a fruit, right?
I know, and that's weird to me. I consider a tomato a vegetable. in my opinion. But
But it's
they put it
technically
in
fruit.
I know it's weird.
Right.
Like when I think about fruits, I'm thinking about like something that's like flavorful, like juicy, like a banana, grapes,
like a tomato,
peaches.
pretty flavorful and pretty juicy. I mean,
Okay. Not to me.
but I'm
honestly.
with you because I think it's weird to even think that you're going to put a piece of fruit on a cheeseburger or something. You know, that just sounds so weird.
Yes, it's
So I'm
weird.
with you. Have y'all? And this is random too. I'm a random guy. Y'all know that by now. So strawberries. I like strawberries, but I'm okay without.
I like it.
I can
I like
tolerate it.
strawberries.
Have you been seeing some of these TikToks where they're like putting baking soda and stuff, water on them, and like all these bugs are coming out of strawberries? It's got me
Nah.
second guessing it. Was like they come straight from like a fresh
Hey.
produce section in the store. They do this cleaning or whatever, and like pouring out.
Hey,
I'm like,
chocolate covered strawberries are the best. Have you ever had those?
I mean,
Yeah,
yes,
but not. I haven't seen that. That's
don't because
What, baking soda?
strawberry. It's something like it's. I want to say it was baking soda they used today that because I seen it today, so what made me think about it. And it just poured it over, and then it poured all the water on it in a bowl, and you could see bugs floating up. And of course, my wife, I was showing her. She goes, "Oh no, that's the seeds coming out." And even the guy's like, "Oh, those are seeds, but that right there has got legs. That is bugs." I'm like, I kind of want to do it now just to see if it's true or not because every time I take a bite of a strawberry now, I think, "Am I eating some bugs in this?"
that's crazy. I'm good.
And I want to ask y'all this, and I apologize for ruining it for you if y'all like it. Do y'all like peanut butter?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, I like peanut butter. Yeah.
Have you ever like actually read on the label like it talks about having rat hair and poop in it? Like it can have it in there.
So does Doritos. Doritos has like poop in it.
Whoa! Hold on.
I'm serious. Like look, read it.
Wow.
I read. I think it was the Cool Ranch kind.
And I just literally ate some before I came up here. Oh my goodness! So crazy.
But hey guys, since we're on the peanut butter topic, we have to discuss this: grape jelly or strawberry jelly, and tell me why strawberry jelly.
Yeah,
I
I like grape jelly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like grape jelly too, but strawberries slightly better in my opinion.
Really,
Slightly
I like
better.
Grape. I like grape jelly.
I feel like grape is just too basic. I don't know why. Like it's just, I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah, don't mind the fireworks in the background, man.
Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's gonna have it here. I live
Regular.
next door. Well, I say next door. It's probably 1,000 feet, but it's straight across the river to the main road, and it's a ATV park. So there'll probably be some stuff going off. Speaking
Yes.
of food, my wife brings me in as we speak some cookies that she just made.
Oh come on, share with the crew, man.
That's
Well, I mean,
clutch.
I would share, but I can't. So
Not virtually. Pass it to the next screen.
That's clutch,
yeah.
right? That would be crazy.
So we try to have movie night with the kids every Friday night. So I mostly have to close on Friday night. So we try to spoil them during that time. They're asking tonight if they could have movie night. So mommy's making cookies for them. They're going to sit up and watch a movie. My son wants to watch, what was it? Holes. Y'all ever watch the movie Holes?
Yeah, that's a classic. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
classic.
Well, she asked me if while we went to the beach, and she goes, I was afraid to let him watch it because I don't know if there's anything bad in it. I said, I mean, other than those like crazy looking lizards, I don't think there's anything like bad for a 5-year-old.
Man, nah, I don't.
Can't
Last time,
remember.
I don't think it's not. I don't think it's anything bad.
Right.
I don't think it's anything
Because
bad. Yeah,
he loves
that's
Home Alone. They watched Home Alone the other day, and of course it talks about something I can't remember. I'll have you talking out your ass is what it says. And of course my wife brought attention to it and said, don't you dare say that, guys. And you're like, what, ass? She goes, yes, that's a bad word. Don't say that. And of course my daughter, just fun story, she goes, well, what's it mean? And my wife, again, being probably too blunt with him, said, it means your butt. I'm like, you just drop it. Just say the bad word and let it go. And she goes, do you mean like I don't want to, I'll clean, but I don't want to, or your actual butt? And my youngest daughter pops in and goes, she means the one you poop out of. I mean, you got to love kids. 4 years
man.
old, 5 years old.
Hey,
I mean,
one thing I'll say, I applaud you and your wife for at least like having like some type of control with your kids with using bad words. Because some of these parents do not care. Their kids would just let it fly. Like I'll be real. Like I was out in public like probably like 3-4 weeks ago, and it was like this little small family. And then I guess the kid said like I guess the kid had got in trouble with something like that. And then he said the F word like right in front of his mom. I was like, whoa, like if that was me, my mom would have did something to me. I'm probably not gonna say it on the airways because
Yeah. Well, see, growing up in a church, here we keep our kids in it as well. But I remember many times like saying some bad words, not cuss words, but just bad words. And my mom actually making me keep a bar of soap in my mouth to wash my mouth out because it was so dirty.
Yeah. I never did that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it was torture. Like, I mean, it wasn't. Listen, I always tell everybody when my dad gets mad and whip me with like his belt, it's like starting a lawnmower as he pulls out and he's taking off at me. They talk about being like abused, man. I knew better. That's what it was. Like, they taught me how to be right because there's consequences. But that's a different story.
Right.
I'm sure you guys got spankings before, right?
Of course.
And look at Nick. Nick said, yeah.
Almost every day it seemed like at one point.
And look how good we came out, right? Perfect.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just get personal. Nick, what is the craziest thing that you got a whipping for? Something that sticks out that you remember doing that you got a spanking for as a kid?
Man,
we getting personal now.
trying to bring it back.
You know what's so weird? Like, there was one time I did get in trouble, and my mom told me to go to my room. I mean, see, my mom wasn't the type, like, she didn't just beat me like that time. Like, you know what I'm saying? I would have had to done the same thing, like, probably 3-4 times in order to, like, actually get the belt. So I was walking to my room, and my mom thought that I rolled my eyes. I was like, I didn't roll my eyes. I legit did not roll my eyes. And then she got mad. She thought that I rolled my eyes, so she told me to go in my room. Then 5 minutes later, she comes upstairs with the belt, and then she whips me. Oh yeah, because I don't know, like my mom's weird. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like she'll tell me to go in my room and wait for her, and then she'll be like talking to somebody, and then she'll go upstairs. But
see, I kind of respect that because it's probably that she's not wanting to spank you out of anger. Because that's one thing that my mom always taught me. Like, if you spank, don't ever spank while you're mad because it's going to be more aggressive what you really mean. So maybe that's what she's
That's
doing.
true.
All right, CJ, what you thinking?
Yeah, man, pre-K, watching too much WWE at home. Tried to translate that in the classroom, and almost got kicked out pre-K doing Stone Cold Stunners and rock bottoms and stuff.
Wait. Stunners? Like, it wasn't just one incident? Like, you like...
it was like every day almost, it felt like. And, teachers let it slide. We was just playing around, but it started, then kids started crying and things like that. And, my mom came in, she had to leave work early. So,
that's the worst.
So, I thought everything was all good. I was like, all right, she was upset. And then once we got home, it was over.
It's over.
It was over, man.
I can see little Nick after just giving somebody a Stone Cold Stunner, grabbing 2 chocolate milks, hitting them against each other, just pouring it like, let's go.
I was
that wild.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I was like 4 or 5, like bugging out, man. Watching too much Raw, SmackDown.
That was definitely me and my brother, though. I'll admit, like, we were watching a lot of wrestling. Jumping off of it's weird. Like we used to have a bunk bed, and like we would like get at the top of the bunk bed, and then jump onto the ground, make like a big old bang sound. Yeah.
Well, see, we always had those like I don't know what they're called, but it's a cushion that folds up to like a chair, and then it folds out, and it makes like a little single bed that you can lay on. Like we had 2 or 3 of those. I don't know why, but we just always had them. We'd lay those down. That'd be like a ring, and we can jump onto that. But the whipping
we always knew how to set things up and stuff like that, man. It was building and
listen, I was 6 years, or I am 6 years younger than my middle brother. My oldest brother, I was 11 years younger, so they were always bigger than me. They'd always give me like, okay, I'm going to count to 30 and give you a head start to get me in any kind of hold you want. I'd be all over, like, okay, I got him here, got my feet here, got this, let's go. And it'd be like, all right, time's up, ankle lock instantly. I'm like, oh gosh, what happened here? Like, I'm pretty sure that's why I never rode my ankles in high school basketball, because they're so flexible because of all the ankle locks I didn't up in. I always get my tail beat up.
Crazy.
But as far as spankings, I was an angel. I'm a perfect child.
Oh, please. We've all done some dirt. We've all done some dirt. Especially in my teenage years, boy. Like, don't even get me started on mine.
Well, I mean, there's some stuff I can't talk about, but I didn't get punished as far as spanking and all that. But my dad definitely gave me a hilarious firm talk on one incident, but we ain't getting into that. But I remember being a smart aleck to my dad when I was probably not even in school. And it's just one of them spankings that I was like, what happened? And I'll never forget it. But he was upset with me talking to me. And Dad, I'm not being mean to you on this. Please don't come spank me now. But he said something was going to the bathroom. And as soon as he shut the door, I turned around and I just remember like, you know what? And I stuck my butt out like, oh yeah, whatever. He was in the bathroom. And before I could get my butt back up and be straight, it was smacked by him, spanking me. I was like, where did he even come from? I thought he was in there. It's like he knew.
So elite athleticism right there.
Yeah, like that one was the scare spanking. Like, where did this even come from? But
crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
We've some good spankings. Definitely so. That sounds so weird to say. As they say now, pause. Sorry.
Good spanking.
All right.
Yo.
These cookies are delicious.
All right. We got to get into the basketball talk, man. Got to get into it.
Let's get to the hoops, man.
Yo, where are we starting today, gentlemen? I know where I want to start, but I'm going to let y'all lead the charge, man, because I don't know if y'all want to build into all the big stuff or y'all want to start slow.
We're going to start with it right away, man, of course. No,
all right.
Let's go. CJ, you got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. I'll let you go ahead and just bring it in then. CJ did awesome work today, guys. Just going to throw that out there.
So we know the big story. Kevin Durant requested a trade out of Brooklyn a few days ago, right before the start of free agency. Him and Kyrie, it just seems to not working out. Those 3 years in Brooklyn were disaster. So many reactions in regards to that. Reportedly, Chris Haynes, maybe I want to say late Thursday night, it was Phoenix and Miami seemed to be his top 2 teams he wanted to go to. And now Mark Spears is a guy that's written for Golden State basketball over the last few years, over a decade, said it's possible he could go back to Golden State and have a reunion with the Warriors. They have the right package, they have the young players, and they have the assets. So just want to go by you guys, what you guys think about the possibility. Well, one, KD leaving. Why do you think it happened? And then preferred destinations for Kevin Durant. How you see that playing out? Start with Michael.
Okay, so I'm going to say I think he's requesting a trade because he doesn't see it happening in Brooklyn anymore. I'm going to start at least by saying that. Kyrie's wanting out. We already heard about all these rumors of what's going on there, which we'll get into that, of course. Okay. And with him moving out, there we go. There's the Golden State. Okay, awesome. But what I also want to ask you guys, what you all think on this before I kind of get any further is, do you think that where Ben Simmons is there now that he's kind of interrupted this a little bit and that's more of a modem to get out of Brooklyn?
No, I don't think Ben has anything to do with this whole situation, honestly.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think it has anything to do with Ben.
But I honestly think he's going to end up, in which I put out a tweet asking like 4 locations. I think I put LA, I put Heat, and 2 other places, which I can't remember what they were. But Heat won by a landslide where everybody thinks he's going. I've been watching some stuff today, and of course, like you said, talking about the Phoenix Suns kind of coming out of nowhere, and now, of course, Golden State as well. I really don't think, as a person that he is, I don't think he ends up at Golden State. I think it would be hilarious and good if he did. But I'm going to go with Phoenix because even with Monte there, he was an assistant coach back in Oklahoma City with him when he first started coming through the league. So I feel like that reunion would probably be the best. I've even watched one where they're doing it's one of the live shows. I couldn't tell you what it was. I'm just watching on YouTube. And they were doing like the trade machine that they're talking about. And they're talking about Ayton would have to re-sign and sign and trade. He would be going to the Pacers. Pacers would be sending Turner, I think, to Brooklyn, and then KD over to the Suns. That'd be one way to actually go through with some picks and some maybe other people as well. But they were talking about Miami. The only way you could get it work would be with Bam going in the trade. But KD's already said he wants Kyrie and Bam to be there. So I don't know how you would get it to work. I think Duncan Robinson and a bunch of picks and maybe some other players would have to be out. But as far as the money part of it, I don't know. But I'm landing all my money, if I was a gambling man, that he will be a Phoenix Sun by the end of this offseason.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Where do we go from here, man? Like, 2019, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving team up in Brooklyn. This is a title contender. They get James Harden. Now they're really a title contender. They're the favorites to win.
Hmm.
Obviously, Kevin Durant has to carry the load of that Milwaukee series in 2021. Kyrie goes down in Game 4. Harden had went down like early, like Game 1, I want to believe. He came back in Game 5, but was a shell of himself. And obviously, Kevin Durant wearing like a size like 17, unfortunately, allowed the Milwaukee Bucks to end up winning the series, and then of course, obviously winning the championship. And then the next year, New York has this mandate of Kyrie or that unvaccinated performers or athletes, however you want to say it, are not able to participate in any games in the city of New York. Obviously, Kyrie makes that decision to be unvaccinated. That's his decision. I respect it. But obviously, with him not being available to the team, it does change the whole chemistry, the whole camaraderie of the team, which did frustrate James Harden, and obviously obviously force him out of Brooklyn and on his way to Philly. And even with Kyrie, playing half of the games, or at least all the road games, like there was still issues within the Brooklyn Nets team and the structure, their chemistry, and everything. So even though Kyrie did play spectacular, they just weren't able to have that actual groove with the team just because he wasn't available for all the games. And even as later on in the season, and they did actually lift that mandate, it just, I don't know, it was just too late, honestly. So I'm not gonna say all that plays a role in Kevin Durant actually leaving, but it just seems like the organization just wants to go in a new direction with Kyrie, and maybe that might be the reason why KD is frustrated, because obviously they came together, and now it's now it just seems like the franchise is just going in a different direction. So there could be a lot of reasons to why KD wants to be out of Brooklyn, but I think we can all agree is that this is like one of the biggest failures that there's been, at least with super teams, or however you want to say it, contenders. Like when you think about top tier contenders that never won, you think about obviously Utah with Karl Malone and John Stockton. You think about the Sacramento Kings with Chris Webber, Mike Bibby, and those guys. Even Phoenix, honestly, with Steve Nash, Amari, Sean Marion, and those guys. So obviously having guys like Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, that makes the Brooklyn Nets a much better possibility of winning the title than those other teams that I mentioned. So yeah, I mean that this team is definitely up there. They had a lot of expectations to win the championship. They only won one playoff series together, which was in 2021 against Boston. It's just unfortunate, man. And as far as for KD's next destination, it'll probably be Phoenix. And I want to say something about the whole Golden State thing. And this is just coming from a fan himself, honestly, because 2016, Kevin Durant makes that decision to go to Golden State. The Warriors were coming off of blowing a 3-1 lead, or actually, take that back. They were coming off of a 73-9 season. Obviously, had the expectations to win the title after they just won in 2015. They blow a 3-1 lead to Cleveland. Regardless of what you want to say, Draymond Green was suspended or whatever, this or that, regardless of what you say, the Warriors still ended up blowing a 3-1 lead regardless. Mm-hmm. Kevin Durant comes and joins that team. We obviously know that with him on the roster, that elevates the team. And I feel like at that time, that was what Golden State needed. They needed to go in a different direction. It was hard to see Harrison Barnes leave and a whole bunch of other guys leave. But I think at that time, they needed a guy like Kevin Durant to help elevate that team's title chances and the dynasty moving forward. But this is not 2016. We are in 2022. The Warriors are just coming off of a title. My thing is, when Kevin Durant made the decision to go to Golden State in 2016, it was the weakest move by a superstar. KD was the biggest enemy in the NBA at that time just because of that decision. If you can't beat him, join him, this and that, so many narratives. And now it's people are really pushing for it. People want to see KD in Golden State. And it's just kind of mind-boggling to me. You realize how much scrutiny he had going to a team that just lost in the finals. Imagine how much scrutiny he's going to go through going to a team that he left and they just won the title. They literally just won the title. So it's just weird to me how narratives can just change just like that. And I get it. You know what I'm saying? People can look at, KD left that team, yada, yada, yada. KD made a decision that he thought was best for him. I ain't mad at it. You know what I'm saying? And we had a great 3 years with him. we won 2 championships out of 3 seasons. But I just do not think that Golden State is the best move for Kevin Durant. I don't think the Warriors should even entertain it, especially when you got great players. Andrew Wiggins is a part of the future. Jordan Poole should be a part of your future. Kuminga, James Wiseman. Like, I'm not giving up this package for Kevin Durant at this stage in his career. I know that KD is still KD. I get it. He's still one of the greatest. He's still one of the best scorers in the league today. But we have a bright future with Moses Moody, Jordan Poole, Kuminga, James Wiseman. So are you willing to give up those assets to win now with Kevin Durant? I don't think so, honestly.
The Brooklyn Nets can't build super teams. Remember back in 2013?
Yep, they did it with
Joe Johnson, Darren Williams, Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Jason Terry. They tried to, they sent the house to Boston and try to build a contender, try to, compete against Miami. Didn't work out. Mm-hmm. Now, like Nick just talked about, like Michael just talked about as well, 2019, try to get KD and Kyrie, and here we are 3 years later, and it's in shambles. And now everybody wants to split up and go their separate ways. It was just a disaster. It was a disaster, and for KD, this is a legacy-defining move right here. This is a legacy-defining move for KD. This next stop, because we know what he did in Oklahoma City. Like Nick just alluded to, we know the flack that he caught for going to Golden State. Then he goes to Brooklyn, and we're seeing how that's unfolding right now. So this move right here, this has to be, if not the last stop, depending on how long he plays, at least the second to last stop. And in this stop, he has to win a championship. He has to win a championship in this second stop right here, because Golden State just won a chip without him. Steph has 2 without him. So that eliminates the narrative of we needed KD, even though I agree with Nick, they did need him back in 2016, but now they've got over the hump again this year. So now, KD is, of course, he may not publicly say he may not say he cares publicly, but internally, all these players have type of motivation that they want to, and challenges they want to accomplish. And this is one of them. You want to hoist that Larry O.B. without Steph and the 73-9 team beside you. You want to take a team to the promised land. They tried to do it in Brooklyn, didn't work. So this next stop from Kevin Durant he has to be smart about it. He has to make sure all the right pieces are in place for him to compete. Structure from the front office to head coach and down role players. So I see Phoenix being an option. I see Miami also being an option. The reason why they can't send Bam to Brooklyn is because Simmons is also in Brooklyn, and there's a rule in the CBA where you can't have 2 guys that signed a rookie extension with a separate team on the same team. So Bam wouldn't be.
Is that not a weird rule though?
Yeah, it is weird. I mean, because it is weird. Like, it's not something that is really common.
Right. But yet they had to make a rule about it, and I'm sorry to interrupt you on that. I think it's just the craziest rule. Like, you can't have 2 players that you traded for be making the max contract in their max rookie contract. Like,
with a separate team, with the team that
with the team that you traded them for. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it's a little weird. I've actually been starting to read the CBA a little bit. It's online. It's a PDF. Starting to read it and start to understand some things. Make sure I know what I'm talking about, instead of always relying on the people on TV to tell me what's right and what's wrong, so I can fact check them. But yeah, KD. I see Toronto could be a spot.
I like Toronto.
Kawhi went there. Yeah, it was a stopgap. He ended up wanting to go home and try to win one in LA. And he's still on the quest and doing that. Hasn't done it yet. But Toronto's a spot. You could probably send Scotty Barnes over there to Brooklyn. They have Pascal Siakam, who was a really good number 2 when they won that championship in 2019. Fred VanVleet is also there. Nick Nurse is there. Masai Ujiri is known to be aggressive and make moves if the end goal is the championship, which for most teams it is right now. So I mean, I see those 3 teams to me being the best spot. It's unfortunate, you're gonna have to gut the team. The team's gonna get gutted with young players, role players. That's just the situation that presents itself because KD is one of the greatest players of all time. Still has a lot of years left. I think he has a solid, I want to say 3 great, excellent years, and then we'll see what happens after that. He does have some injuries, so Suns works. I mean, Ayton, there's been some discussions about him and Monty Williams not necessarily being on the same page. I know you probably have to give up a guy like Mikal Bridges, Iron Man, versatile defender, but
probably Cam as well.
Cam Johnson would also probably be in that deal. But you got CP for 2 more years. You got 2 years left on that deal. You got Booker just got the 5-year extension. That's going to kick in next year, and then you'll have KD for 4 years locked in. So I mean, that should put. I mean, you just won 64 games. It was a number one seed.
Supposedly KD for 4 years. just
right. Yeah, I mean,
out there.
yeah, but I mean, it's like
right.
this is what I'm saying. He has to be smart with this move and really hone in, because what you're going to do, ask for a trade in 2 years from now? I mean, it's just. Right. I mean, when we talk about these great players, it's it's a story. It's a story. People write books and make movies about these guys. So, what do you want your movie, or how do you want your legacy and story, your career to be talked about? Where you were a great bucket, okay, and what else? Like, it has to be something else. He failed in OKC, went to Golden State, and then is he going to be able to win one without Golden State? That'll be the the icing on the cake for his career. Just like LeBron did it with Cleveland, just like Curry just did it this year with winning without KD and Golden State. So it's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. I'm interested to see where he goes. I think it's going to take some time, because Brooklyn, they're asking for a multitude of first round picks, probably three or more unprotected. Then they're talking about an all-star or two. It's just not going to happen. I understand aiming high. You got to start high with the negotiations. But there's going to be a point where they're going to meet in the middle somewhere with a team. Could be a three-team deal. Who knows? They want to, maybe another team wants to try to get in the mix and try to add a guy here or there. But this move right here for KD is monumental. So hopefully he makes the right move, and then wherever he goes, they're going to be a contender for sure.
So I've got put up on my screen right here. I've got it saved. It says odds for KD teams in 22-23. It says Suns are number one at plus 190. Miami Heat's 450. Brooklyn 550. I don't think he's going to stay in Brooklyn. The Raptors are 800. 76ers are 800, which I thought was weird. I know we've heard some talks about 76ers, but I don't think that's going to happen, because you're going to have to give up way too much, and I don't think 76ers have that much to give up for a KD. That's just me personally. Lakers come in at 1,000. The Pelicans at 1,400. The Blazers 1,600. Celtics 1,600, and even the Grizzlies 1,600. So it's the top 10 as far as the odds that could land the team.
Sixers
could have been
maybe. You got
Thanks.
Tobias, Maxey, Thibault. And, like I said, it's not the all-stars that they're asking for. They're not going to get any all-stars out the deal.
Right,
so
right.
They might as well just click
that. The thing that helps Brooklyn in this, I think, most is when you look over and see what Utah just got to trade away Gobert. And we'll get into that trade, obviously. The mini picks that they've got for that trade, I think it's going to be like, hey, listen, Gobert went for this mini picks. Like, we need something to that caliber plus all-star. So, I mean,
yeah, they're going to get the picks, but the all-stars they're asking for.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. I know KD's, light years better than Gobert, but
right.
I mean, a team is not going to give up their all-star. They want to pair their all-star with KD. So it's like, I mean.
But I want to ask y'all this and kind of follow up on this before we get to the Kyrie part, but it kind of goes hand in foot here. Are you worried about Brooklyn any with these deals that's going to happen? Because I actually think Brooklyn may turn out really good after all this is said and done, because if they can get a couple of stars for both players and pick, like, I'd almost go with a young superstar if you could build around that, because you still got Ben Simmons on the team. Plus, you're going to be getting a lot of picks. Like, I honestly think Brooklyn 2-3 years out may look pretty solid here.
And this is why I said they can't build it. They can't buy a super team. Now they need to build. They need to build one.
They've had a great opportunity, I think, right here. You all agree with that? Because no one's talking about that part of it, but like Brooklyn, dude, if you get 3 first rounds for KD, and if you get 2 or 3 first rounds, because I'm going to say they get more players for Kyrie, I mean, that's a lot of first rounds in the next few years that you're going to be getting there. I mean, you're going to look like almost Oklahoma Thunder, but actually with players too. So I mean, I think they're going to come out like fat belly on this one by the time it's all over with.
They could. I mean, Sean Marks, he came from Phoenix. He came from the San Antonio tree. So he knows all about, in terms of building through the draft. So I think this would be a good spot for him to, one, he has to sell Joe Sada. He's willing to stay that long because, the team that he assembled 3 years ago look what it is today. So he has to make sure he keeps his job for the amount of time, before they maybe even get to those picks. But I agree. They have to build through the draft. You have a guy like Ben Simmons. You got to be open with Ben Simmons. You got to be transparent with them and let them know, this is our direction. This is how we're going. Do you want to be a part of this? For me, Ben Simmons has to play this year regardless. He has to show that he's still a high caliber player. And I don't even think you can ask for a trade 2 years in a row. Get traded 2 years in a row. I'm not even sure. Maybe, but he has to play. Nobody's going to want him right now because he hasn't been on the court over the course of an entire year. So even if he doesn't want to stay in Brooklyn for the long haul, he has to at least play this season, whatever the team looks like, and show that he's still a top guy in the NBA. And maybe down the road he can be enticing to another team if they want to try and contend. But yeah, build through the draft, and you have to do it that way. Start over.
I agree. Couldn't agree more, honestly. And it's just wild though. I don't really see the whole Philly situation working out for KD. I mean, especially after he just recently played with Harden, and I'll be honest, it seems like KD and Harden don't really have the best relationship, anyways. Maybe that could possibly change in Philly in a better environment. I'm not 100% sure, but and on top of that, does KD even trust playing with a guy like Doc Rivers or for a guy like Doc Rivers?
Definitely. I think that relationship in Brooklyn, I think it was more about Kyrie and Harden.
Okay.
Yeah. More than KD and Harden, but I could be wrong. But they have the pieces too as well to send a solid pack. I mean, Maxey played excellent last year, and he could be a piece that he could constantly build around if you're Brooklyn. So it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to take some time. It could happen next week. I'm pretty sure there's talks right now.
It might happen tomorrow.
Going on, but Brooklyn has to minimize their asking price a little bit. I know they're probably like, yo, did you see what Utah just got? We want that, but I don't know if they're gonna get that. I don't know if they're gonna get what they're asking for. Could they get a similar deal like that Utah got? Yeah, I think so. But all stars on top of unprotected first? Nah, I don't see that happening.
So let's go ahead and move over to his. I won't say his Robin and Batman on this, but Kyrie Irving also is wanting out. Obviously, we're hearing Lakers quite a bit. Honestly, I haven't really heard too many other places for Kyrie now.
They were saying Dallas.
Dallas.
Considering that they just lost Jalen Brunson, I don't see that happening.
Okay, yeah, I don't think Kyrie and Luka would mesh very well. Like they're both very ball dominant.
Kyrie, like that whole scenario would be like, Kyrie would probably be more the off the ball player because Luka's definitely the better playmaker than Kyrie. So it could work, but again, availability is everything at the end of the day as well.
It could be like a Braun Kyrie type thing. It could be. Right. Luka has that same type of skill set that LeBron has.
Right.
But intangibles. That's really what it is for Kyrie. It's not talent. It's the intangibles.
Yeah. Man. Will he play because of the COVID? If COVID picks back up again,
yeah. Will he? One moment he feels like the sky's falling. The sky's not blue today. I don't want to hoop.
Right.
It's like you don't know what you're gonna get on a daily basis, man.
And he's even said that he doesn't really care so much about playing anymore. His mindset has changed. So it's kind of weird. Do you want to trade everything you got, all your assets, for a player that may wake up tomorrow and say, "Oh no, I want to pursue this in life and hang up my sneakers." So
since we're on the topic, real quick, I just wanted to discuss this with you guys right now. How do you feel about the whole Kyrie Stephen A. Smith back and forth?
It's kind of played out already. I mean, Stephen A. been pretty much been calling him out the whole year.
Yeah.
They should sit down and chop it up. What's up? I mean, sit down and chop it up. I saw Draymond chopping it up with Stephen A. Smith. Now they was kind of buddy, and Draymond was talking crazy on his own platform. Let's keep it 1,000. But they seem to be cordial.
You're going off here. I don't know if you guys can hear them.
No, I can't.
Okay.
But they,
fireworks are going off.
Oh, okay.
They seem to be pretty cordial when they chopped it up. So yeah, either chop it up or move on. I mean, to me, I'm not a big argue on social media type guy. And these guys are two high profile dudes. Kyrie's been on
Nick
first.
Is.
No, I mean, not really. I don't see him arguing with people online.
Nah,
I don't see him doing that.
I'm supposed to ignore people, dog. I'm here for the good vibes on Twitter, man, and also talk mess as well.
Listen, CJ, I'm getting off topic here, but there was once upon a time that Nick put a post or a tweet that he'd never been kissed by a girl before, and I was like, hey, man.
How do you remember that? I said it like 8 months ago. He still remembers that.
I was like, it startled me a little bit. It was like,
he took it so literal. He took it so literal. It's funny.
I need to fly down to Florida and be a wingman for him or something.
That's crazy.
I think my bad, CJ, not to cut you off. I think we had Aaron on the show too that day, if I'm not mistaken.
Did we? We probably did.
I think we did.
But,
go ahead, CJ.
Yeah, it's just they need to just move on from it, man. Just move on. Stephen A's like almost 60, bro. Like, it's just I get it. Speak your mind. They chop, just either chop it up or just move on, bro. That's how I feel about it.
Personally, I don't even know why they take anything we say and that caliber of people as well, literal at all or personal at all, because they're there and being paid to make bold and risky statements anyways. Like, there's a group that I follow on Facebook that's nothing but sports, and they give like the craziest takes on everything. And every time they do, my thumb's going crazy making a comment back. And it's like, no, they're just really, they have to be making these statements for these comments. So I instantly delete it all the way back. And I'm just like, that's what we're here to do, really, is make comments that gets comments back, I mean, we give her straight text.
Not me.
What we gonna? Well, I mean, I'm just saying media. I'm saying.
Right, media. Yeah.
No. I mean, I try to keep 100 on what I say. Now, sometimes I'll make a hot take quite a bit because I do think when everyone says the same thing, like obviously that's not going to really happen. Probably, like, but everybody is saying Nets and Lakers in the finals. Everyone said it. Like, be bold and say something different. Yeah. But to say that like somebody's just trash or something like that, when obviously they could beat me one-on-one every time, they're not completely trash. It's just
hey, that's NBA Twitter for you, man.
It really is. So I mean, to me, just go on about your business. But Kyrie's not that kind of person, so I think it'd be cool, and that might be why it's going on, to actually see them have a show together or like a special night where they just are on some kind of social media or something discussing it. So, golly, this guy's saying, sorry, for Kevin Durant to go to Pelicans, it would be the Nets getting Ingram, Hayes, Herb Jones, and Jose Alvarado.
Nah, I don't like him going to the Pels. I like what the Pels are doing right now.
Yeah, I think the Pelicans need to sit at home. They're going to be like the Heat, as far as like build everything up and make it go well. Yeah,
organic, make it organic, man. They don't need to, make a move, gut their team for KD.
Top 5 next year.
For Kyrie, it's very, very possible. Very possible. For Kyrie, man, just go reunite with Bron. Just get,
Like, I think KD going back to Golden State would be the worst thing for his I don't know, his ego, but I think for Kyrie, he needs to just go back with it. Like, he needs to suck it up and say, let's go and do this again. But Kevin Durant is the Batman, and I'm not trying to be mean towards Kyrie. He's more of a Robin, like we talked about that last episode. So he needs to just kind of say, hey, let me lick my wounds and come on back here and let's do this again.
Yeah, he was. Sounds like he wants to do that. I mean, he went on the I Am Athlete podcast, was like, I'd be in LA right now if I didn't leave Cleveland in 2017. So, I mean, it sounds like he wants to go run it back with Bron. Bron, of course, will welcome him. They have elite chemistry. So it takes a lot of pressure off of, they take a lot of pressure off of each other. And then AD could kind of, he could be a 3. He could be the. Well, you would hope AD is the 2, and Kyrie's the 3.
Right.
But since LeBron has such great chemistry with Kyrie, I think they should just go to LA, make it work. Westbrook's on an expiring deal, so it's not like a team is going to be tied to him for a multitude of years. So run it. You could take trade for him play for you for one season. He'll go be an unrestricted free agent. It's a big year for him too. Him and Simmons. I mean, people are like, oh, I see the memes of the shattered glass. Him and Simmons team up. Is a bunch of a bunch of shattered glass, which is funny. But both of those guys have a lot to prove. Next year. They had probably two of the worst seasons in their career. So I don't think they're going to win anything if they were to team up. But I think in terms of showing that they could still play at a high level and play some type of winning basketball, maybe of course not a championship, but at least winning a few games, maybe getting to a play-in, something like that. I think that would help again their legacy, their story, and it kind of shifts the narrative a little bit on how people view them. So I can see a KD. I can see a Kyrie Westbrook swap.
And that's what it would be. And, it's getting back to Westbrook being a star with Ben Simmons. There's nobody that can shoot. So, I mean, what you're going to be getting with the KD really takes a big toll on that offer, too, I think. Here's another one that's just popped up. Utah Jazz, which I don't think happens. But seeing what Brooklyn would receive would be very enticing to me. They've got Mike Conley, Jordan Clarkson, and 5 first-round picks because of the Gobert trade. And that would really them just be losing 1 first-round pick for that.
Right, because they still have their – yeah, right. So they're going to Mitchell and KD in Utah?
That sounds disgusting, dog. Don't ever say that again, yo. In Utah?
Because it's Utah or because Mitchell?
Because it's Utah, not because of KD and Donovan Mitchell. Don't get me wrong.
Dwayne Wade just took over down there. I mean, he's going to have some help, I think.
Yeah, Danny Ainge is he's a master at fleecing teams, so he could definitely try to get a deal. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, to me, I'm thinking on Knicks like it's Utah, but. They just hired Will Hardy, he was the assistant coach with the Celtics. He's been getting a lot of praise amongst NBA circles and things like that. He's going to be next up. I mean, I just don't know how the rest of that team looks like. So I'm not sure. But
I mean, if I'm Utah, I'm totally fine with giving that up for Kevin Durant, right? I mean, the 4 picks you didn't really have. I mean, I know you're losing them, plus your own. And then Mike Conley, who's like 85 years old, and Jordan Clarkson. So, I mean, I would be okay with that, wouldn't you guys?
I mean, it sounds good to me, but then the rest of the roster. Of course, you would assume guys would want to go to Utah and play with those 2 guys. You would assume, but they're not an attractive market, unfortunately. I mean, Phoenix, Miami. I mean, not only are they great, they're attractive markets. So, right. It's I don't think nothing's off the table. Nothing's off the table just because of the caliber that KD is. So I
feel like Utah think they have a chance at least in this, or at least in a discussion, because they've not said Mitchell is available. Or they're acting like he's not available. But you've seen in the TikTok or the Twitter world even that other teams feel like Mitchell is available and reachable. So we don't know what's going on there. Personally, going back to Kyrie, I don't want to not talk about Kyrie. I think it's Lakers or bust. Don't you guys? I mean, it's really that, right?
He's going to go to LA. I feel like that's really like the best option for him at this moment. It's really just interesting whether the Nets are going to want to take on that Russell Westbrook contract, because he's definitely going to have to be a part of that trade. But Kyrie to LA definitely makes sense. And I don't know. I mean, with his talent, of course, you could say that it'll elevate them. But, with everything going well with him, LeBron still playing at a pretty high level in year 20, AD being available as well and being healthy, that can get you at least to the playoffs or at least like the second, third round.
If they're healthy?
Yeah, they're healthy. Like I'm not begging on anything else, because I don't know what the supporting cast is going to look like. With those 3, we already know what they bring to the table.
I think you're trying to be respectful. That's why you said at least the second round, right? I mean, you're not saying that that's capped.
What do you have, the finals?
Western Conference Finals at least with y'all. I mean,
okay, Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, I mean, at minimum. I mean,
you don't. Well, I mean, even with the Suns now, I mean, like if the Suns were to get KD,
what if the Suns were to get KD? Then yeah, I mean it's a 4-team race. Add the Clippers in there.
So I mean that would.
That would put. I mean it'd be
So you got Lakers, Golden State, Clippers, and the Suns.
Suns. Yeah, that'd be
The Pacific Division.
So I mean that would be what, second round.
Second round. I mean, honestly, if you would have asked me who would I take in that series, hypothetically, which big three, I'm gonna go with Kyrie, LeBron, and AD.
Against any of those?
I mean,
I just want to hear because
if they're healthy, and they picked up they got some solid pieces. Troy, I mean, they're not household names. Troy Brown, Lonnie Walker, they got some young guys. Alex Reed, Austin Reeves is there. They got some solid. Damon Jones, he's a solid rolling big. I mean, it's not like they're not household names, but all they need is role players and shooters around those guys. Right. So
Ray Allen comes out of retirement, plays for them. I mean,
yeah, they get some marksmen, maybe a playmaker off the bench. Darvin Ham, everybody's saying he's the second coming of whoever. So
whoever.
I don't know. Yeah, whoever you want to put a great coach next to his name for comparison. So, I like their chances if they're healthy.
I don't think KD and Kyrie both could go to the Suns.
No.
Logan in the comments saying that. I don't see the Suns having anything that they could give up for that because I think they want to keep Booker and Chris Paul in no matter what they do. So, I mean, if you're going to try to get Kyrie there, one of those two guys have to go, and I don't think that's what Phoenix wants to do at all.
Phoenix, they're not going to do that. I mean, they're going to ride with Chris Paul, even though Kyrie's a younger player. And again, and Nick, you made a good point, but Kyrie has a lot to prove too. He only has 1 year on his deal. He's not like he doesn't have a multi-year deal, so he has a lot to prove. He has to show that he could be durable. Available. That's two different things when you're talking about Gary. And he has to ball out. He has to ball out and produce and have an impact on winning. And the best place we've seen him do that is when LeBron was his teammate. So I just think that makes the most sense. And if they were to acquire him, yeah, I mean, of course you can't sleep on the champs. But KD, LeBron, and AD healthy. I mean, I don't know, man. It's not that many.
I mean, LeBron and AD already won it as being healthy. So, I mean, it's hard to say that you couldn't bet on them. But at the same time, I think KD, I said AD, I think I'm not for sure. Anyways, Kevin Durant with the Suns, I think would be wonderful of a team with those three trios.
I don't think KD want to go play with LeBron. I don't think so.
No, I meant KD with Suns.
Yeah.
I meant to say AD instead of KD. I'm not sure if I said which one.
I was just reiterating to our earlier conversation about KD, AD, and LeBron on the Lakers.
Oh yeah, I don't think that would ever happen because that's kind of, I don't know, Superman and Kryptonite.
That'd be
the villain.
I don't want to see that, man. I want to see some parity. Mm-hmm. LeBron and KD on the same team. Come on, man. Nobody wants to watch that, bro.
That would be like Magic Johnson.
I mean, like
Michael Jordan playing on the same team.
As a basketball fan, like, seeing great players on this, like, yeah, it'd be exciting to watch, but you want to see those guys go head to head to compete for the championship. Like that. I feel like if they do that, that takes it. I don't care. I know even though their careers are cemented, that takes a big hit on their career. If they team up right now, like come on, bro. Y'all supposed to be battling for a championship. So,
I agree.
So, yeah.
But let's go ahead. Listen, we're 53 minutes into this, and we've got a lot to cover. So let's go ahead and switch over to this next one here. We got Rudy Gobert going to the Timberwolves. What's a reaction on that? And of course, what's next with Mitchell? Gobert went to the Timberwolves in a trade that sent 4 first-round picks over to Utah, which we kind of talked about that just a tad bit. Are you guys happy with this trade? Are we sad? What are we thinking here? Personally, I like it for Cat, which I'm a Kentucky boy, obviously. So I like the fact, CJ, my goodness, you are on it today. Love it. So Timberwolves receive Rudy Gobert. Jazz receive Beasley, Beverly, Vanderbilt, another Kentucky guy. Kessler, first round pick or their pick this year. And I'm not even going to try to sound that name out. And first 4 round picks.
Leonardo Bomero.
Boom. Wow, that was perfect. But anyways.
What in the world, yo?
That's what it sounded like. I mean, it just flowed. So let's hear y'all's reaction.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it, honestly. That front court of Cat and Gobert will be very interesting because Cat is not really a banger down like under the basket. He's more of like a stretch big. You know, people refer him as like the best shooting big in the NBA today. So with him just being able to step outside and obviously space the floor, that'll really help him and that'll help benefit his game. Obviously, we know what Rudy Gobert brings to the table as far as defensive presence and of course being a great rim protector. So it's honestly a good trade if you ask me. I mean, Gobert is like a 3 or 4 time defensive player of the year, so I think that definitely elevates their defense. Still kind of surprising that D'Lo has not been a part of any deals whatsoever because I figured that Minnesota would be really pushing to get him out of there, but who knows? But Minnesota's going to be back in the conversation next year. I don't know if they're going to be like a top 4 or 5 team out in the West, but they'll definitely be in contention moving forward. So, and then also with what Utah got back and Patrick Beverly, Jared Vanderbilt, Malik Beasley, and the rest of those guys, and a few first round picks. They're saying that they want to build around Donovan Mitchell. I just don't see it with this team, honestly. Like I just don't see it happening. I mean, even with the Donovan Mitchell on the team, alongside guys like Mike Conley, and then these other trade assets that they just got. I just don't see them making any noise with this team. So now that Gobert is gone, I expect D Mitch to be gone as well sometime soon in the next few weeks. So it's really a good thing for both teams. Honestly, I mean Minnesota is going to continue to elevate as a playoff contender, and I believe Utah is going to go into full rebuild.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Yeah. What I like more about this is just for Cat because now he can go out more for the 3-point shot or be a spread 4. But not just a stand out there for, like he can be more involved with that. Gobert is going to relieve him as far as his defense from down low. We know I'm going to say a little weak. He's just undersized for that 5. So I'm really excited for seeing what Cat will do this next year because he just won the 3-point contest. So we know he can shoot. You talked about it. He's the big guy that can shoot, the best big that can shoot. So I think this is going to open it up a lot more for Ant too because it's going to put Cat out there where you kind of have to respect him. And now you got Gobert going to set the pick up high. And it's going to have an open middle, I feel like, with this team. So I'm excited about the Wolves move. I think 4 first rounds on it is a bit much, in my personal opinion. But you're committed to this team now. Now, we just talked about if the Lakers get Kyrie, KD goes to the Suns. The Suns, the Golden State, Clippers, both LAs, that's your top 4 teams. I don't see this team competing with those, but I'm glad they made the move. Like, don't just sit there and be lukewarm. Like, they're at least making an effort on this and seeing what they can turn up on this. Who knows? This could work flawlessly and really surprise a lot of teams. It could be like the Cleveland Cavaliers of last year. We didn't expect what we did, but even pursue that even farther. So, kudos to Minnesota. It's a team that I think everyone has to like at least a little bit, no matter what goes on, just from their history. It's an underdog team that is making a push. Go for it. I'm all in on it.
I'm a fan of the move. I like that they're aggressive. They're a small market team, so they know they're not really going to be a squad that's going to entice free agents, unrestricted free agents going to Minnesota. So I respect the aggressiveness by I think it's Tim Conley. And, of course, A-Rod's up there in the ownership group with what they got going on. So, I'm a fan of that. For
people watching this show may not know who A-Rod is.
If you don't know Alex Rodriguez.
Bro, I don't even watch baseball and I know who that is.
Okay, well, I mean, he's a Yankee fan, so that's why he knew A-Rod for sure. So
yeah. Hopefully, I mean, if you're a fan of sports, you would.
You should know who A-Rod is.
Yeah, you should know.
Yeah.
But it was not Aaron Rodgers, no guys.
Nah. On the court. So one, I look at this lineup right here. D'Lo has to be a playmaker. Mm-hmm. Can't be a scoring guard. You have to be a playmaker in this lineup. You got to be able to set Gobert up, make things easier for him. If he has some post ups on some smaller guys, not, and I don't want to say post ups like him being like Kevin McHale post ups, but just giving him quick little seal off. He has a nice little entry pass. We could just dunk over the a smaller defender. Quick, easy passes like that. He needs to be aggressive. Gobert has to be aggressive in the paint. That's really something that he'll show it every once in a while in Utah, but it really wasn't as consistent as we liked, especially in the playoffs, where you would expect him to be a number 2 guy next to Mitchell, which is why ultimately it did not work out. So I want to see him be more aggressive in the paint. I think having a point guard like D'Lo needs to be able to get him the rock and make things easier for him. And then Ant, this is a big, they count on Ant to be an MVP type candidate. I mean, they're expecting him to be that guy and step up and take this team to the next level. He definitely showed flashes of that in that first round against the Grizzlies, and I think he can continue to do so as his career moves forward. Has a lot of athleticism. His shot has improved from year 1 to year 2, and I think he's only going to get better. And then Cat, like you said, I always felt like Cat was a power forward. I never thought he was a center. So I think it's a great move for him. He would, like both of you guys alluded to, he has an ability to space the floor. He could also beat guys off the dribble with his athleticism, his size. So, and I also want to see him, be a little bit more of a passer too, off the block. If you have one guy that could pop and one guy that could roll. So I'm saying like D'Lo, he could really showcase his playmaking skills if that's something that he really wants to do. If not, he's going to get packed up, unfortunately. But because they don't really don't need
packed up.
It's going to get packed up. He is because they could use his scoring and maybe with the second unit if he's in there, but with the starting lineup, they don't really need their scoring. Ant and Cat can get you 25 plus. So he needs to get the other guys going if this team wants to be successful. And Rudy Gobert, listen, I know the trade looks crazy, but what is he? Six-time All-NBA defensive team, 4-time offense, 3-time defensive player of the year, 4-time All-NBA. Listen, I know he's not, a popular guy for reasons we all know about. We don't have to really dive into that. We always talk about that when we talk about Gobert, but he's a great defensive anchor. He's a great defensive anchor. He gets you a double plus 2.5 plus more blocks a game, and I think this could be a seamless fit for him. If in a way, for from the center perspective, it's not the same type of ability, but we could see a little bit of what we didn't see in New Orleans with AD and DeMarcus. I really felt like that combo was going to be special. You had an offensive and defensive specialist in AD, and you had an offensively gifted center and DeMarcus Cousins. So we could see something like that if, like I said at the beginning, if Gobert is more aggressive, calls for the ball, but it's also going to take D'Lo and Ant too. He has to be a playmaker also. Get those guys going first, then get to your spots and do what you do when it's money time.
Okay. Honestly, I think we covered that one. We're over an hour. Want to go on to the next point we got going on here?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, which one we want to go to? Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, so DeJounte, I thought this was the first big splash of the free agency frenzy, as you want to call it. And the Spurs get 2 unprotected first round picks for DeJounte Murray, a move that they definitely needed to make. I feel like from Atlanta's standpoint, and I'll go to Nick and then we'll go to Michael and what you guys thoughts on the trade. And I'll follow up after you guys.
So when the trade first went down, I wasn't necessarily a big fan of it, and people on Twitter would definitely let me have it, to say the least. But I had to really do the due diligence on it. Both of them are really great playmakers. Trae Young was trying to be a great playmaker. DeJounte Murray, even in San Antonio, who was coming off of a really great season, is a really great playmaker. And then on top of that, DeJounte Murray is long. He's athletic. He's got a long wingspan. He's able to be a really great top-notch on-ball defender who's able to get into the passing lanes and deflect steals. So with him bringing that versatility, and then also, because I also feel like Trae Young is probably going to play more off the ball alongside Murray. So I feel like it's a good combination, honestly. Obviously with Murray being that great two-way talent, and then of course Trae Young being that elite scorer, I feel like both of them are just going to be able to complement each other super well and really take the pressure off one another. And then on top of that, you also kept John Collins in that deal. I don't know exactly what his future is in Atlanta moving forward, but you kept John Collins. You still got guys like DeAndre Hunter. I don't know what the future is for Kevin Huerter as well, but with that backcourt, if everything goes well for them, Atlanta could be at least a top 5 team in the East.
Didn't Huerter get moved?
Did he get moved?
Didn't he get moved to Sacramento?
Yes. Oh yeah, he did.
Yes.
He did. Oh man. Forgot about that.
Bogdanovich probably be that guy off the bench now.
Oh yeah, Bogdanovich, yeah, because Gallo ended up being shipped to San Antonio, and then got waived. No, like he got shipped to San Antonio, then got waived, or then got a buyout or something like that.
Yeah,
he's with the Celtics now. I know that.
Yes, he is. Yeah. All right, yeah, Michael, what's your thoughts?
At first, I thought kudos to the Spurs organization because it even came out that Murray had talked about how they didn't see them being able to win with Murray right away, and they didn't want to waste his talents trying to get him team built around him instead of getting people to come in. So they actually apparently was upfront with him from the front office saying, we want to trade you so you can have a chance to excel. You really don't hear anything like that in the NBA or any professional team or organization talking like that. So Spurs, I think, is just subpar or a super powerful organization over everyone. They're on their own. They're an elite program. We'll just say it that way. Then I started thinking about this because a lot of people saying, well, what's Trae Young going to do? And even Nick kind of talked about playing off the ball a little bit. I was talking to somebody and I said, I think he needs to go and watch as much film as he can on Steph Curry and try to mimic him, which he already does somewhat from the long shots, just that ability of it with the ball. But watch Steph Curry without the ball. And try to learn how to play off from there because he's still going to have the ball quite a bit, and he's going to be ball dominant too. But Murray is going to relieve that a lot, and I feel like he needs to really hone in his Steph Curry feature as far as how once he gets rid of the ball, he doesn't stop. Because you'll watch Steph Curry will put a fake on a shot and get the guy in the air. He'll kick it over to the wing and already be cutting through the basket to get a give and go on it. Like Trae Young needs to be thinking of plays like that where he can do that, where he can get away from the defenders and open without the ball. Not saying he can't do it, but just pay attention to how Steph Curry does it because, I mean, really, he's Steph Curry in the making, I really think. Murray is going to definitely relieve that. I do think Murray will be flirting with a triple-double, even with his stats here, 21, 8, 9, and what he averaged last year, as CJ brought up. But I think the assists will be in double digits almost every game playing with the Hawks this year. Top 5, I'm trying to think. You still got Heat that's going to be great. You got 76ers going to be good. Bucks are obviously going to be there as well. Now, with Brooklyn falling apart, we don't know exactly what they're going to be getting traded in. So Brooklyn's going to be that 4 or 5 team possibly, or maybe even an 8 to 9 team.
I want to ask y'all both this. Who do y'all have more confidence in going into this year, Atlanta or Cleveland?
The Knicks.
Atlanta or Cleveland?
Right now, man,
I'm gonna say the Hawks. They have the better 2 players right now.
I agree.
Yeah. Go ahead, Michael.
Is it bad that I want to say the Cavs on this?
No, I mean, the Cavs are going to be good too. I mean, they got Garland. Garland just got that extension. Rubio's going to be back with the team soon. Hopefully, whenever he gets healthy.
If Mobley takes the Ant Edwards year 2 step, then we might. I just
kind of feel like the excitement around the Cleveland right now, life without LeBron and still being relevant like they were. I feel like it's going to continue to be contagious on what they do this next year. And I will never go against Amber again because of her predictions on that.
Yo, that's still wild, man.
Because usually, and it's not every time, but sometimes you'll see these players that get teammates like this match up together, duos, and it takes them a little while to get to learn how to play with each other. So I don't know if I want to commit completely to Atlanta being top 5 right now. Do they have the caliber team to do it? Yes. The capability? Yes. But let's let the team gel because anytime LeBron, and I'm throwing the name out a lot today, goes anywhere, the first year it's absolutely garbage. Let's just be honest. And then the next year it's dominant. So I'm going to pump the brakes a little bit on Atlanta because I can't commit to it all being gelled perfectly right from the get-go. I am anxious to see what they can do. I do think they have the chance to do it, especially after midseason. Didn't they fire their coach midseason last year after being so bad and then turning around and actually make it into the playoffs. So they turned their season around after the interim, and I can't think of who it was that was hired.
Nate McMillan.
Yeah. So I'm keeping an eye on them, but I wouldn't be surprised if they weren't top 5. How about that?
Okay, so who's that 15 for you? Cleveland? Got Cleveland, Toronto. I mean,
I think Toronto.
Toronto.
So, I will put.
I got them 5.
Yeah. Should I put Toronto over Brooklyn or not Brooklyn? Atlanta?
No.
You don't think?
I wouldn't.
Raptors? Because as of right now, I think Raptors are going to do something. I don't think they're going to stay put.
If these Scotty Barnes.
How far do you think the Pistons are going to jump? Obviously, I don't think 5, but I'm just.
They're going to take a year to really learn, but I think next year will really be their year.
Yes, I agree. I think they're a year away. They could surprise us. They could surprise us. I think they're a year away.
What about the Bulls? Do you think they fall back from 6 from last year?
I think they stay right there at 6. That sounds good to me.
Okay, as the way they ended last year, it's I don't even think we said Celtics too though. So Heat, Celtics, Bucks, 76ers, Raptors is 5. Then it's Bulls, Nets, and Hawks. The Nets, I think, are going to stay 7, even though they're losing 2 guys. I think they could be in that area about who they're going to get, because more than likely Westbrook is in this trade. Westbrook and Ben Simmons is good. I don't think they're match up very well because nobody's going to shoot the ball well or shoot the ball. But with the KD, we don't know what trade's going to go on there. I think Cavaliers will jump up some. So I'm going to say maybe the Nets go back to about 8 or 9. Hawks, I do think, make a move. I'm going to put them at 6 just to be comfortable, I guess. Because, like I said, I'm pumping the brakes a little bit. I'm into the team, but I want to be respectful or hesitant, I guess, because I do like the Raptors. The Raptors are a good team, and I do think they make some type of move here.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I think this is a great move for Atlanta. They're not a small market, but just historically, they haven't really acquired marquee free agents. I don't know if you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I over the last 10 years, I haven't. Joe Johnson, I guess, would probably be like the guy that they picked up from Phoenix. But other than that, not really a superstar type guy. So they've kind of done things in the draft. And you make a trade for Murray, all-star. You feel like he's going to ascend and keep playing at a high level from what he played last year. And he can mask some of the deficiencies that Trae Young has on defense, and I think that's definitely a reason why they wanted to acquire him. And he could take some of the playmaking away as well, like Michael alluded to. He could play. Trae Young could play more off the ball. So when teams look against Miami, Miami did an excellent job against him in terms of trapping him and putting multiple guys in front of him, making him turn the ball over. He struggled. He struggled in that series, which is why he had one of the worst playoff series I've ever seen. So I think that they needed to make a move like this, and I think Murray, he's not a great shooter. He's a great mid-range shooter, but not a great three-point shooter. So I think they complement each other well from that aspect. John Collins, he should benefit from this. You have 2 pretty solid pick-and-roll ball handlers. He should be able to roll to the basket. He could pop as well. Capella should also flourish from this as well. And I think the X factor for me from this team is DeAndre Hunter, 4th pick in that 2019 draft class. We're going to talk about Zion, Ja, and Garland, who just got the bag, and he was the 4th. He was in the middle of that pick right there. So it's a big year for him. He needs to step up and show that he could really be a key piece to a playoff / maybe possibly championship contending team. So I like the move for Atlanta. They were the 5th seed 2 years ago without a guy of Murray's caliber. And they went to the Eastern Conference Finals. So I think this is a good move for them, and I'm looking forward to see how it plays out. My only concern, I got 2 things. My only concern is Nate McMillan a little bit schematically. Sometimes he's not the best when it comes to that. But then last thing I want to go back to the Timberwolves. My concern with them is when they play up against a team that's small ball, the Clippers, the Warriors. How is that going to play out? Is Gobert going to be on the bench? Cat moves back to the 5. Vanderbilt. Jaden McDaniels will be the 4. Like, how is that going to work out? If they have a bad matchup in the playoffs, that could be a concern for me. So those are my 2 points.
Sorry, I'm thinking schemes here with Gobert, and just thinking of him with the fact of like Bam, how they kind of hide him in certain ways, which Bam's a great defender, but even going zone, putting Bam up top because he can cover so much. Hey, Gobert, let's see if we can work on this to maybe improve your defense of skills where you can do this. But I'm ADHD again. With that being said, I said we go ahead and talk on to one of your favorite teams and talk about what you like going on here with CJ. We got Jalen Brunson signs with the Knicks. Is he the point guard that they're missing? And is he worth that much money? I want to ask you on that too. We'll go ahead and start with you, CJ. Give you the floor on that, Nick and Rail.
All right, let me just pop this screen real fast.
Take a step back.
We might even put CJ as the big screen on this one, and just like
yeah, like I did me with the Warriors.
Yeah.
So this is what I wanted to say. So at first, I was a little concerned about the pickup, and a lot of that is me not really doing my homework on Jalen Brunson and not really watching, the right cut-ups and the right film. Me listening more to the media and outside fans, and them formulating an opinion for me instead of me doing my own homework. So, he's a really good player. He's a really good player. He's a guy that's improved every single year since he's been in the NBA. He got an opportunity to start, and he made the most of it last year. It was a key number 2 piece on a team that, went to a Western Conference Finals in the Dallas Mavericks. He's been a champion at Villanova, 2-time national champion, player of the year as well. So, he brings a winning factor. I think it's the overpay, and that's why I have this screen up right here. Shout out to Spot Track, covers NBA salary rankings and things like that. Yes, sir. Hopefully, down the road we could get a nice little deal.
There we go.
But, so I see right, Jalen Brunson is the 14th highest paid point guard annually in the NBA. You look at the team, you look at the players under him. Mike Conley, we could say he's probably over the hill, right? Mm-hmm. We could all agree on that. Malcolm Brogdon, solid, but didn't relatively stay healthy in Indiana. Probably comes off the bench and on the Celtics. Probably closes line in the closing lineup. It probably comes off the bench for the Celtics. Right. We can agree on that.
Right.
Okay. Terry Rozier, good player, bucket, the scorer, secondary ball handler behind LaMelo. So that's solid money. Van Vliet got the bag. 2 years ago, 4 over 80, stayed with Toronto. Really good player. And Spencer Dinwiddie, and then you got Lonzo Ball. So I feel like he got his contract more recently than the guys beneath him. So of course he's going to make more than them. So I don't see how it's an overpay. I don't see how it's an overpay in my opinion. Now, at first, like I said, when I wasn't really doing my homework, I was like, yeah, this guy's overpaid. $100 million. Well, get out of here. But that's just the market of the NBA. It's the market of the NBA. The salary cap just increased. 12 million? It was 112 this year. Now it's 123. So that the cap is going to continue to increase, and he's right around what I'd probably rank him in terms of some of these guards right here. Van Vliet, Rozier, Brock. That's where I'd put him. Now he has an opportunity where he could be the primary playmaker. He wasn't that in Dallas. We know Luka Doncic has the ball all the time. So now he has an opportunity to be the point guard that, he was in Villanova. He was, high school, things like that. So we'll see how it plays out. We'll see if he can live up to this contract. I think it's a good move. He grew up a Knicks fan. He wanted to be here. His dad, people making issues about his dad being an assistant coach. I don't see the problem with that. One, because Thibodeau's known Jalen Brunson his whole entire life, because Rick Brunson was on that 1999 Knicks team. And Tom Thibodeau was the assistant coach there when Jeff Van Gundy was the head coach. So people don't do their homework. People don't do their homework, man, when they talk about these things. And why wouldn't you have your father there as coaching you, guiding you as you're the point guard of the Knicks, giving you like that. That's your dream. That's a dream to me. That sounds like a dream. So I think he's going to play well. Ultimately for the Knicks, how this season plays out is going to come down to 2 names: Julius Randle. And he has to have a bounce back year. Had a mid first year with the Knicks. Second year was spectacular. Second team All NBA. Third year, horrendous. And then RJ Barrett has to take a big step. Has to be more efficient from outside, from his shooting. And if he wants to get this bag that his draft mates just got this weekend, he's going to have to step up and show if he's not at least an all-star, at least a borderline all-star type player, if he wants to get the contract that he's expecting. So those two guys have to play better. Tibbs has to, shift his mindset and get out of that stubborn ways. And I think either way, last year, you look at a lot of the games that they had from January, February, they lost a lot of those games, close games. Why? Because they didn't have a point guard. Rose was out, Kemba was out, and they had Alec Burks, being the floor general, which he's never been his entire NBA career. So now you got a guy who's an actual point guard now coming in. We saw when they brought Rose in, how that took them over the hump and brought them to the playoffs. I think we'll see a similar fold here with Jalen Brunson in New York.
So do you think with Brunson being there that it will bring Julius Randle last year back, or the year before last now that we're in the offseason?
Yeah, it should help him. He should be at one. I feel like, again, I don't want to get too X's and O's, but he needs to roll harder to the basket, play like an actual power forward, not a shooting guard. Be aggressive, use your athleticism, and go to the basket. Same thing for RJ. RJ has to work on spacing the floor. I don't want Julius Randle shooting a bunch of threes. Do what you did in your last year in the LA. Do what you did in that year with the Pelicans.
This is random. I'm sorry. Keep going.
No, that's it. Yeah.
Is Brunson Brunson? Is he left-handed? He is left-handed.
Yes, he is left-handed. Yeah.
Left-handed.
Julius Randle's left-handed. Is RJ left-handed?
RJ's left-handed as well.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So so that right side of the court is going to be a little packed up.
Now watch this. Like Stephen A is gonna have a narrative like once the Knicks like lose like 2 straight. Oh, they can't use their right hand.
Yeah, not too worried about that guy. To keep it 1,000, he's entertainment based, so he doesn't speak for the fans.
1,000%.
Yeah, 1,000% now. Yeah, he doesn't speak. He doesn't speak for Knicks fans, man. He just he's a.
I don't think he speaks for any fans. Let's just be honest.
He doesn't speak for anybody. So
that's why Jay ready to be cooking him.
That right side of the court is gonna be tough, but I mean, we just make a big deal about that because being left-handed is a rarity. That's why. I mean, I'm
left-handed. That's why I even thought about it.
I'm left-handed too. And
what about you, Nick?
I'm ambidextrous. No, I'm dead serious. Honestly, but I'm more so dominant right hand though.
Okay, so you're the odd one.
So
you got to even the right court for us.
Exactly. Like nobody makes a big deal with it's a full 5 with right-handed players and they're all on the left side. But since they're left-handed and it's awkward, no one's really. It's like I said, it's a rarity. It's people want to make a big deal about it. So
absolutely,
I don't. Again, it's going to come down to scheme and effort from those 3 guys I just mentioned. That if they do that, I think the Knicks would be fine. I can see them being 7-8 playing type team. And maybe they could get a first round playoff berth back at the Garden. That's what I'm hoping.
Do you think they're done right now as far as free agencies?
Yeah, they're pretty much done. They really don't have any money left. They picked up Isaiah Hartenstein from the Clippers, solid backup big. Did some really good things for them. He's a good player. He brings a different element that Mitch and Sims don't do. Re-signed Mitch for 4 years, over 60. I think that was necessary. Would like to see him improve. So yeah, I think they had. It's if I was to grade it, I don't know if you guys saw my story. I know Nick told my story. Shots at CBS Sports for giving us a D+ for free agency. But I would give it.
Oh, okay. I thought you were agreeing with them at first, like for the D+.
No, I said heard you. Like okay, cool. Like
okay.
Yeah, okay. It was like that's how you feel. All right, bet. Like we'll see. Type that was kind of how I was viewing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, pretty much we'll see what happens, man. Like I said, those factors have to be in place, and I think the Knicks will be fine. But if not, Randall's getting packed up and Tibbs getting packed up, straight like that.
Now, I'll say this, and I know you're not the biggest Tibbs fan, but Tibbs usually takes players that are not the superstar caliber and makes them relevant. I mean, so I will say that, but I do think it's the 7 players
outside of Butler. I like who?
Well, I mean, Julius Randle for one. I mean, 2 years ago.
Okay.
I mean, the Knicks. I mean, he got fired from Timberwolves and then comes back the next year and coaches, and he's the coach of the year.
Okay.
I mean, But I mean, I'm not saying that he's a great coach.
He
I just
literally
feel
played
like,
Luol Deng to the ground.
I mean, he does that too. But what I'm just saying is, like, he can take the players if they buy into a system and actually do good. I think now this NBA era now, I don't know how well it can continue to do because if they don't play defense, Tibbs is not going to be able to coach that team. But I do think Brunson is a defensive guy that is also a fast-paced point guard that can work his system and do good on it. Now, at first, I'll be honest with you, I thought it was really dumb to pay him over $100,000. But seeing the breakdown that you just put up here, that 14th paid point guard, can you tell me who was above him at 13?
Yeah, we could go up right now. Got you.
Okay, I thought it was just a pitcher.
No.
So, I mean, he's under Lowry and Chris Paul.
Lowry's over the hill.
Yeah, so, I mean,
Shea,
really looking at it.
That's what I'm saying. It's not a bad to me. It's not a bad contract to me, man. Like
I think it's just that 100 million. What really got everybody like, oh my goodness! But I mean, it's over what 5 years or 4 years?
4 years. Yeah.
So I mean,
if Duncan Robinson can get 90 mil, give Jalen Brunson like 100, whatever he's getting.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a bigger number that we're not used to seeing yet. But broken down like he did here on this, what'd you say it was?
Spot track.
Spot track. I mean, that's pretty nice. So I mean. I do think he's probably 14th. Like has him ranked very well right there, really. So
see, when you do the homework, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, people just be on here for the clicks, man.
I will say that I was a casual as far as seeing that 100 mil and thinking that was the dumbest thing the Knicks could do.
We're count the bucket, man. We're not casuals. We know the game.
Well, I mean, as far as the stat and the money, and one thing I've always said, as far as contracts, free agency, I don't get that. That's way above my pay grade. So, I mean, breaking it down, seeing this year for year, it's not that bad. I mean, 23 million? I mean, that's okay. So,
his contract is and right now from the team salary cap standpoint is 20% from the cap. That's not even a lot. That's not even a lot. And if Fournier doesn't work out, he's off the books next year. He has a team option. So we could get off that 19 mil. Rose will be a free agent next year. That's 14 mil. That's 33 right there for more free cap space to potentially get a guy with the picks that they accumulated in the draft. I know I was tight during the draft. I wanted to see what they did. I wanted to see what they would do.
You were upset.
I was upset. I was definitely sick. But again, once more logic came into place, I started to see things for what it was. And like I said, I like how they're playing right now. They're not shipping all their picks for a guy. They're being patient and they're just waiting to see how it plays out.
So I'm okay with it. I think they're actually maybe the Knicks know what they're doing.
Maybe, man.
Leon Rose, baby.
You got anything on Brunson that you want to talk about, Nick, or are you ready to move on?
We can move on, man. I mean, CJ already discussed it, man. I mean, I already practically agree with everything that he says, so no reason for me to talk.
I agree. So we'll start with you on this next one, then. We'll go ahead and go to it. 2019 draft classes got the bag. Everyone is – their bank account looks much better than mine. Let's just say that. Of course, we got on Zion got paid. Zion, who hasn't played in who knows how long. Ja got paid. Garland got an extension. I think he got 5-year extension, didn't he?
About to pull it up right now.
Spot rack, baby. Hey, Spot Rack, we need a sponsor, man. Come talk with us. Talk business.
You know what? I will reach out to them on that, boys. I don't care to do that dirty work. So okay, yeah. Every one of them got 5 years. 193, 193. All of them 193, which is kind of crazy that Zion's getting a 193.
Yes, and let's talk about that. Let's talk about that right now.
Well,
we got to talk about that right now.
Go ahead, Nick. This is you. Go
ahead.
It.
Look. Zion, spectacular talent when healthy. One of my favorite players to watch, without question. Mm-hmm. But we all know he's had a little injury bug throughout his career and a little bit of a weight issue. Now, we know when Zion...
That is offensive. Don't you dare talk about someone's weight. My goodness, how could you? The man is a human being. You don't dog him like that. This team's going to be fifth.
Ain't this the same guy that was ranging him from up to 330 in weight?
You know what? I don't care what you say. In those pictures, he was pushing that 3 big time.
You were saying 330. I was like, yeah, I'm not going that far. But
I know how much I weigh, and he's a lot taller than I am, and he still looks as big as I do. So I'm just adding. But carry on.
Well, yes. Where was I? Oh yeah. The last time we saw Zion, he was averaging around 27 a game, shooting 62, 63% from the field. Was one of the highest field goal percentage since Shaq. So we know that when Zion is healthy, he can produce. We know that. But it's almost here's the thing, it's almost, I'm not gonna say it's similar to the Kyrie situation, but it almost is. And that's availability to me. What I'm saying? I get it. Zion's a great player, but I don't know if I'm giving him that much of an extension. That's just my opinion, honestly. Not the same as a Ja Morant or a Darius Garland, in my opinion.
Money-wise or years?
Probably years
is kind of my thing on it. I see Ja, and he actually has. I'm sorry. Let me back up. You finish yours, and then we'll chat.
Okay, so my thing is if I had the contract on the table. And I think that this is right if I'm not mistaken though. I don't know if the contract is I don't know if the extension is guaranteed for after 2 or 3 years or whatnot.
Yeah, everything's fully guaranteed.
Okay.
It's usually they're a 4-year and then the 5th year option of some sort.
Yeah. Probably player option after the 5th year.
Yeah.
And with him being off his rookie contract to this one, it's probably a restricted option too, ain't it?
Well, yeah, so that's my concern though.
This kicks in next year.
Yeah.
These extensions kick in next year. Go ahead.
So that's my concern though. Talent wise, you would give Zion that money, without question. Mm-hmm. But due to his lack of availability, his durability on the floor, his injury history, are you guys I don't know, are you guys confident in giving him that much money? If you guys were a GM right now, would you guys give Zion the bag, considering after everything that's went down with the team or with him throughout these 3 years?
Yes. No hesitation.
Okay. If I'm the Lakers, maybe not, because I'm the Lakers. If he doesn't,
either team, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which team.
Well, to me, it does because the Lakers, we've talked about this before. LeBron James isn't even top 10 in the Laker history. Now he's a great athlete, but since he's been with the Lakers, now Lakers, you're replaceable, instantly replaceable. Pelicans, I mean, if they don't sign him to this for 5 years, they're going to lose him. So I think it's more or less, hey, we're going to put all our eggs in this one basket and hope that you don't get hurt. But if you do, maybe it's that you can't make it and you retire or something, and we can get this money back. I don't know. I just feel like since it is New Orleans, not that I wish that on you at on Zion. I got your card now. I want you to be great. I feel like this is a do or die offer that they have to do on this. Because if they don't sign him to the 5 years, he's gone. After the 5th year, he's gone anyways. So this is basically, we will pay you everything we can and give you as many years as you want to keep you in the Pelican uniform.
Yes, 100%, 1,000%. I'm giving him the money. He's 22 years old.
Oh, you're not agreeing with me. You're saying giving him the money. Dang it.
I agree with you from the standpoint of each team is different. They're a small market team. Mm-hmm. You don't want to have the same thing you had after AD. We saw how that played out. Again, this team just took the Phoenix Suns to 6 games without Zion. So
Zion.
So they feel like he's the missing piece they need to get over the hump. And then also you talked about injury, which is true. But I look at 3 of these guys. All 3 of these guys have had injury history before last year.
Yeah, Garland, but John hasn't missed that significant amount of time.
Not to the level of Zion. I mean, Zion broke his foot. I mean, it's tough. It's tough.
330 pounds coming down off of a dunk. Yeah, I mean, you're going to break your foot.
Second year, he played 60 out of 72. It was a shortened season. So that's not bad. But like I said, Ja missed 26 games. What was their record without Ja? That's what everybody talks about. So he missed 26 games last year. Garland before last year, he had injury problems. That's what people were talking about. He was like, can he stay healthy? He stayed healthy, and we saw the success that they had. So I think all 3 of these guys had injury concerns. Of course, not to the level of Zion, but to me, I look at, you ask me who's the best player right here, bro. I'm still going with Zion, bro. I mean,
out of these 3,
yes.
I mean,
yes. Come on, bro.
I'll say he's 2. When healthy, he's number 2 behind Ja, in my opinion.
Sure. I respect your opinion. I feel like if we do a redraft, it's how I got it right here. It's 1, 2, 3 again. Same thing. It's 1, 2, 3 right here because I know we know RJ went 3rd. But that would be what the top 3 was.
My only thing is, we talk about a lot. It's what you can do for me now that I think would change it a little bit. Maybe Ja would go first as of right now because Zion was technically hurt last year if they were to redo the draft. But I think this is the deal. I mean, I was talking about, I was a little iffy about the 5 years and stuff, but thinking as an ownership, I mean, you've got to give that to him so you can actually say that you're trying to make a dynasty with them. I mean, if they come back next year or say within the next 4 years, they go to the finals, you've got a chance to extend him then and say, hey, listen, we're that close. Let's go ahead and get you to stay here longer and keep on working with this. But I really think this Pelican team is going to be a great team for a few years to come.
Yeah, I agree. And then when the Pelicans played the Grizzlies over the last few, Zion's 4-0 against Ja.
And I want to say, even last year, the Pelicans beat the Lakers every game.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the type of season the Lakers had. I'm not surprised.
I love it when CJ thinks that I'm like really being serious on my stat that I'm trying to throw. He's like, oh, wait a second. No, man, I can't let that. He'll tell Nick that he respects him, but here's me like, nah, I can't do that.
Because the Lakers were bad. Lakers were bad. They were so bad. So of course I agree. They were so bad last year. But again,
like a Matt take, okay? We can live with those.
I like this deal. I'm glad all three of these guys got the bag. When they're playing, they've all done a great job on the court. It's just Ja's been more healthy at this stage of their careers out of all three, but he still has some knick-knack injuries here and there. Mm-hmm. So I like this Pelican team. Obviously now we'll see how the West shakes up. Probably won't have them top 5 anymore. But I think they could be 6, 7. It could be 6 or 7 right there. I would not be shocked. So, congrats. Yeah.
Let's be a little devil's advocate here. What is the one player of these three that you would have said was the least likely to deserve all this? Go ahead, Nick. I think you're going to say Zion, right? Because from your standpoint.
Yes, but see, this is the thing though. Like, I'm not trying to disrespect Zion when I say
we
this.
Understand. You really are.
Because like I said, when healthy, Zion is a phenomenal talent. Like I mentioned before, he averaged 27 on like 63% shooting in the last year that he played. So obviously we know what Zion brings to the table, but it's like
while eating 20 Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh my god! But my thing is that It's almost like I said. It's almost like the Kyrie situation, like availability. Like we talk about how availability, and like we even talk about how the Nets didn't even want to give Kyrie that extension because of availability. Mm-hmm. So it's like is it kind of the same situation with Zion? I get it. Zion's still young. Zion still has a lot of room to grow, and of course, his ceiling is a lot higher moving forward. But I don't know, man. It's like I'm just really concerned with the injuries. I just don't want to look at this. Like I'm not trying to wish bad on anything, but I just don't want to look at this. And then, next year is more injuries, and it's more injuries, and it's more injuries, and then next it's like
left-handed.
Because he's left-handed.
My goodness.
No, I don't know. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a concern, of course. If it's a concern, he missed a whole year last year, but you got to look from a positive standpoint. Remember, and people had these same questions. People had these same questions about Embiid.
That's true.
He got that deal. He also broke his foot. He struggled. He had the back problems early in his career. He got in shape, and he's been he still had some injuries here and there, but he's been relatively healthy enough to get teams to the playoffs and have a little bit of playoff success. Hopefully, he could get past the second round, but least deserving. I don't know, man. I can't.
You have to pick one. Come on, CJ. I'm going to say Ja.
You would say. I guess you would have to say Zion. Again, because of the.
I'm going to say Ja. I'm going to say Ja. That's who I'm going to pick. Just because one, we've got the record without him, and I feel like Garland coming back this year put that excitement that I talked about earlier with the Cavaliers, and I feel like maybe Zion isn't one that deserves it, but because it is that small market, they're going to give everything he can. Because he is the future one of possibly the NBA, two, of course, the Pelicans. Ja, I feel I'm not going to say he's replaceable, but no, hang on. I'm not going to say anything to that one. I'm just going to say that the Grizzlies were able to find their own without Ja a lot this season too. I'm not saying he's replaceable on that team. I'm just saying the Grizzlies play great without him. So. Yeah. I'm just going to kind of go against most grains and say that I think Ja would be the least likely, in my opinion. Now, I'm not saying like, that shouldn't be $100 million or anything like that. I'm just saying, as far as where they stand and what they did last year, and then I don't know why Ja got most improved player, which is the dumbest thing ever, but that's another story.
Yeah, this is necessary for all three teams because all three of these teams,
absolutely,
all three of these teams,
home markets, yeah.
Like, so they had. I mean, all three of these teams had to do this.
Yeah. I agree.
You're gonna give what Zion a 3-year deal, and then what if he's healthy, and then what if he's healthy for those 3 years, and then he's like, oh well, y'all didn't give me 5 3 years ago, so you guys didn't trust me. Deuces. So, they could go pull up, Then
you got AD, Zion, LeBron, and Kyrie.
Oh nah, no chance.
But, nah, I'm good on that.
No chance.
But yeah, I definitely think they had to do the max years. Maybe not deserve those, but I'm with you on that. So keep on moving.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. Let's get it.
You bring on up, CJ. I'm gonna write down the time here.
About 2 hours in.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So yeah, some other moves. I'll pull up the screen right now.
Okay.
Jokic got the bag. Karl Anthony Towns, Booker, Beal, and Zach LaVine also received super maxes this weekend. So what's your thoughts on each one of these guys, and what's your expectations for each one of these guys and the respective teams that they're on? We'll go with Nick first.
Obviously, Jokic being a 2-time MVP, now his job now is if he's able to help the Nuggets get a Western Conference title, and then of course get them to the NBA Finals, because we all know Denver's been in that same position over the last few years. It's starting in 2019 when they lost to Portland in the second round. They got to the conference finals in the bubble, lost to the Lakers, and then the past few years they got swept against Phoenix last year, and then obviously lost in the first round this previous season. So I get it. There hasn't been no Jamal Murray, no Michael Porter Jr., but now, I feel like, with those two guys coming back healthy, the Nuggets are definitely in a position to possibly make that happen. So for Jokic as the superstar of that team, now it's all about how he can help elevate their team and help them at least reach the NBA Finals. Mm-hmm. For Cat, I don't know, man. It's like I don't view Cat as the franchise guy anymore. I believe that's Anthony Edwards, but I mean, obviously with him still having that veteran leadership, it's all about how he can help be that leader on and off the floor. Being that vocal leader, being the one to set the tone on both ends of the floor. So that's going to be a challenge for him. Booker, how he can help Phoenix get back to the finals, help them elevate. He's definitely going to have to respond, especially after that horrible Game 7 that he played against Dallas. That's definitely going to have to be something that he could.
Keep on going. We're good. Keep on going.
That he comes back from. For LaVine needs to be the number one option this year. I get it. DeRozan had a spectacular year, very impactful year, MVP candidate for most of the year for the Bulls, but I feel like with Zach LaVine having a lot of youth on his side, he needs to be the number one option. He needs to be the guy that really makes this Chicago team go. And for Beal, I don't know. I honestly don't know, because
are we all upset that Beal signed back with the Wizards?
My thing is that, I'm saying, look, get your money. I'm saying? I'm never going to be mad at somebody getting the bag. But, I just can't stand when Beal goes on these interviews and saying, I want to place myself in the best position to win. And here's the thing, like, once he made that quote, everybody was saying, oh, he's just going to resign with the Wizards. And that's exactly what happened. So, I mean, look, at the end of the day, Washington offered him the bag because, I mean, they don't really have any other free agents or anybody else to get the bag to. So, like I said, I'm not mad at Beal for getting his money, but it just sucks because I really want to see him in a better position than in Washington.
I mean, I'm happy definitely for Cat and Booker, who also I think are represented by the same agent, and I think it's actually a female. They got them the max contracts that they could in the 4-year deal. So kudos to both former Kentucky ball players and getting the max on there. But as far as that, I'm not going to – well, let me just back up. The Joker deserves everything that he can get. 2-time MVP. Probably won't win it again because it's going to be too no storyline there. Let me just go that way with it. But he's definitely carried the team the past 2 years. Hopefully they can give you some help this year from everyone being healthy. LaVine, LaVine is great. I've never been a LaVine fan. I don't know why. I don't think he's going to be the number one option that actually gets you to the finish line to making the championship team. So I'm a little iffy on that. Not saying that he don't deserve it, but the Bulls, he is the one option. You said DeRozan had a great year last year, but LaVine's going to be that guy, and he is not going to lead the Bulls to the championship. So I don't know. I'm just weird about that. I don't know why you'd pay the man for 5 years, $215 million to be the leader to not get you anywhere. But I understand small market teams in Chicago, I hate to even say is a small market team with their history and everything, but you got to sign who you can sign, and I understand that. Again, Bill, $251 million for 5 years. Way to get bank. Congratulations on that. You've had a great career with Washington, but I just wish he would have went somewhere else because I feel like Washington did take in their trades getting rid of Westbrook, did get some nice pieces coming back. I just would have liked to seen him maybe go somewhere and pair up with a superstar somewhere, even if it would have been Miami or something to that effect. Because, there's always talks about that. But anytime someone gets paid, get every dollar you can as a player, 100% happy for every one of these players. I wish I could get $1 million from each of them, and I would probably be set for life. You're muted.
Go ahead, CJ.
Yeah, congrats to these guys.
Absolutely.
Jokic is a matter of now getting back to the Western Conference Finals. Hopefully those guys can get healthy, like you talked about, Murray and MPJ, and they try to win as many games as possible because we know what he can do as a talent for Jokic. Cat, I agree with Nick. I think Ant's the guy. I think he's the number one option. You can just kind of just tell the way his demeanor is, his mindset. He just seems to be that number one option for Minnesota. But, Cat is one of the most talented number twos we might have seen in a very long time. So he has to step up. He kind of faded in those series against the Grizzlies. Yeah.
I was just going to say, I'm really excited with the pieces that they made this year to see how Cat plays this year. I still think, I agree with you all. He's the two, but I think it's going to be a great two where he can actually come out and not have to worry about having his back to the goal as much.
Exactly.
So I think that's kind of a little bit of this contract. Hey, we're seeing a bright future for you on this. And I think that's one thing that helped him, but keep on going. Sorry.
Yeah, no, for sure. I completely agree. And, he should continue to play all-star type level. That's what he's been doing, but we'd like to see him take that second step. He scored 60 last year. So, I mean, the talent is endless with both of those two guys, and then you add a guy enforcer like Gobert, like we talked about. We'll see what happens with that. And Booker, yeah, gotta rewrite the narrative. Last year, 2 years ago, you were beloved. You went to the Suns. People started throwing the Bean comparisons. I hate that, but that's what they were doing. But now it's time for him to step up and play. Even though he played great last year, but now you have to take it to another level. Because even people were still saying Chris Paul should have been MVP and things like that. If you're the guy, there's no question who's the guy. And
he has started out this offseason in the right step. He broke up. They broke up. So he got rid of whichever Jenner it is. So
yeah, hopefully,
step in the right direction there.
It's an excellent step in the right direction.
Yes.
That's a great decision, off-season decision. So, he can lock in. And focus on basketball, getting his mindset right, and get it going. LaVine, same thing. People, DeMar's MVP. When the season started, I thought LaVine was going to be in those discussions, and we saw it flip. So LaVine is the better outside shooter from the 3-point land. So he should be able to be that guy, no question. I thought DeMar was supposed to be the number two. So this season and beyond for Chicago, LaVine has to be that guy. He has to be that guy. He made the All-Star game. He's a really, really good player, but now it's time to take it to that another level, being a two-way elite guard. If the Bulls want to have success, hopefully Lonzo Ball can come back and he could get healthy. I think when they lost him, that definitely
big loss.
Yeah, big loss for them. So. They got Drummond and free agency. They just signed Dragic today, so they got some solid pieces over there in Chicago. And I think they're going to be right there in that top 6, top 7 range in the Eastern Conference. And then for the Wizards, I hear what you guys are saying. To me, it's a win-win. It's a win-win because If the Wizards don't win, Beal's going to get traded, and he's still going to get his money. And for the Wizards standpoint, they're going to get a haul for him. So that's just what it is right now. So of course you take that deal. You cannot leave, 40 something $50 million on the table. No way. I don't care what team I'm on. I'm not leaving that on the table. He's going to give the Wizards a chance to show that they could build a winner around him. Porzingis, Kuzma, they drafted Johnny Davis, Wes Unseld Jr. second year as a head coach. However they need to find a way to get that right. If they do, he stays. If not, they could get a haul, get a package deal for him, a Gobert type deal, a KD potential type deal for him next year or at the trade deadline. So,
what do you think the Wizards are missing? Because when you look at the roster, like they got some good talent, but like besides Beal, you got Kuzma, you got Rui Hachimura, you got Denny, you got Porzingis is now there. So, like, what do you think they're missing?
They're missing an elite, versatile front court player. Like Porzingis, he was that. Like his last name in New York, he was that, but unfortunately, he couldn't stay healthy towards ACL, countless knee injuries. So you can't count on him consistently to be that guy. So that's what they need. That's what they need around Beal. They tried the backcourt duo. That didn't work with him and Wall. So they need a versatile, elite forward that could complement Beal. And Kuzma's good, but he's not there. He's a really good player. But he's not a championship high level piece. He's a good piece to a championship, but not a key guy. So
they're almost a poor man Boston Celtics. Like they're good in certain places. They're just not up to that caliber, I feel like.
Yeah, they drafted Denny Avdia and they drafted Rui Hachimura two years in a row, and both of those guys really haven't panned out. They've been pretty underwhelming, and they played that forward position. So they haven't been able to figure that out from that perspective. I don't know what happened to Hachimura last year. Like the first half of the season, he didn't play, and he wasn't even in the States, and then he came back.
Weird.
Yeah, he had a weird situation there, and Avdia hasn't been healthy. So I like Johnny Davis. I think he could be he's probably going to play point guard for them. So I think that's he's a good player. I think he brings a nice element to their game. I think he would complement Beal well because he shoots more in the mid range. So to me, they're again fringe playing team. They're right there with the Knicks and some of those other teams on the back end of the Eastern Conference. But I don't see them making any moves. And again, if they're not where Beal wants it to be, it's going to ask for a trade. Simple as that.
Guys, I ain't trying to be mean here, but I'm watching YouTube and it's just about NBA free agency and everything going on here. And it's popped up a show. I'm not for sure what the show or NBA Today is what it is.
NBA Today.
Yes,
yeah, and they're talking about favorite trade package for Kevin Durant. And Perk, who I feel like had a bad draft day, has said that the Hawks is the best place or who he picks where Kevin Durant will go. Do you all even see that?
Doesn't even make. They just gave up 2 unprotecteds to get DeJounte, so I don't see how that.
And this aired on the 1st, so I don't think that trade happened after that, did it?
No, trade happened before. It happened before.
Yeah, happened before.
So so I don't even know why he would consider the Hawks would be the trade here.
You haven't seen the State Farm commercial with Perk where he's throwing the thing at the wall with hot takes.
Oh no,
I haven't seen that. When you see it.
No.
It speaks for itself, man.
Okay, I feel like Perk there for a while spoke truth really on a lot of stuff, but then all of a sudden I feel like he's slowly become a Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah, at times he knows what gets the clicks. Pretty good.
You think that's what he's going for?
Really, for that take specifically, I don't know. That doesn't, like you said, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. They just gave up 2 unprotecteds.
Tim on the show, I can't think of his last name.
Tim Legler. Yeah,
he picked the Pelicans.
Yeah, because BI is an enticing piece. I get it. I get that. But I don't know, man. I just like what the Pelicans have right now. We talked about this. I just think it's crazy.
I like the Pelicans. They're like the Miami Heat. Who they have in pieces will be better next year, I think.
Exactly.
But anyways, Sorry for interrupting. I just seen that and thought it was crazy.
No, you're good, man. All right. You guys want to go to
sorry. Yeah, let's keep on moving. I apologize there. Right. I'm just stunned still.
All right, we got John Wall signing with the Clippers. This happened in the earlier in the week before everything really kicked off. Agreed to a buyout with the Houston Rockets, and right away, as soon as he cleared waivers, he signed with the Los Angeles Clippers. Nick, what's your thoughts? Oh, yeah, I'll start with Michael. Yeah, what's your thoughts on this move?
I absolutely love this. I think John Wall, in the games that we did see him play last year, looked good. And having this time off, I feel like he's going to be rested up. And he's not so much rested up is such an easy answer, though. But I feel like the stress of his play that he's always done has been all over him for all his teams. Playing with the Clippers, I think he can take a back seat and not have to worry about it nearly as much as what he had to do. So if he just becomes more of a, I'm going to say role player, but a setup guy, a Rajon Rondo, if you will, but more offensively, have better mechanics, better skills as far as that. I like this. I'm about to say Lakers team. I am so sorry, guys. This Clippers team with this pickup or this sign. I think John Wall is going to have a bounce back year. He doesn't have to do much. Like, he should be averaging 10 assists this next year, in my opinion, easily with the guys he's got. You muted. Them fireworks ain't gonna bother us, CJ. Nah. You're good. Don't worry about it.
All right, cool. Yeah, 10 assists. All right.
Let me back up. He should average 10 assists. Now, John Wall's not much of a pass first kind of player, but with that team, Paul George sitting out there, he creates kick out. Even Leonard out there as well. Whenever they come back. This team should be good, and he should be able to average 10 assists. That's in my head what kind of role he should be playing on this. Create and kick.
Create and kick. I like that, honestly. My thoughts on the wall signing, I like it. This is something that I tried to call like over a year ago. You know, whenever there were rumors coming about that, that John Wall was going to be on his way out. Like, one of the first teams that I briefly discussed was the Clippers. I just feel like the pairing of him alongside Paul George and Kawhi Leonard just fits, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And people may forget, but John Wall actually had a pretty good season in Houston. I know he was coming off of a Achilles tear and other injuries, but he actually played pretty well as far as dictating the offense, being that playmaker, being that slasher that we all know him to be. He obviously doesn't have that same explosiveness and that athleticism that he had in his earlier days in Washington, but he could still display some flashbacks on many occasions per se. But I like it though, honestly. The Clippers will be back this year. Kawhi Leonard's going to come back healthy. Paul George's going to come back healthy. But then also you got guys like Robert Covington, Zubac, Norman Powell, Nicholas Batum, the rest of these guys. So are they the biggest threat to Golden State? It depends, honestly. It all depends on where Kyrie and KD head to. If KD is going to Phoenix, then of course, I'll say that Phoenix is probably the bigger threat. Mm-hmm. And then obviously, if Kyrie heads to LA, possibly LA will be up there as well. So not saying that the Clippers won't be there. Not saying that the Clippers won't be there. They're definitely going to be one of the top contenders in the West, but I don't know. I'll just have to see how it pans out.
I like the move. They got it for cheap. So, you're not paying him a substantial amount of money. He brings the element. He brings the playmaking. I think he's significantly better than Reggie Jackson. I think Reggie Jackson is a nice player, but I feel like he's better. He's better for them off the bench. He was inefficient last year for them, and I get it. He had the green light because of those forwards were not healthy. So, he took a lot of shots, but that's not going to be the case now with the Clippers. Now that Wall's there and Kawhi and PG are back. They could the lineup that I have right here on the screen. I could see that being a closing lineup for them. Yes, they have to rebound in this lineup, but they do have some versatility, being able to switch out on everything if need be. They don't have this lineup doesn't have elite rim protection, but again, versatility and switching out and doing things like that. Zubac is still there. They might have picked up somebody else. I'm blanking right now. They might have picked maybe another role player type guy. I think Batum came back. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Nicholas Batum that came back and re-signed. So he's going to be in the mix in those lineups. And when when we saw this, they went to the Western Conference Finals and Kawhi had a torn ACL. So I think their talent is endless. Ty Lue's one of the best coaches in the NBA. I think he's going to get the most out of John Wall. Tell him he's a guy that tells players what they expect, what he expects from them. A lot of players respect that, and that's what they want. A lot of these coaches nowadays in the NBA, they're not as transparent. So I think it's a good fit. It could work. I agree with you, Michael. If he's a playmaker, set guys up in the second unit, then he could do his thing and play like he was on the Wizards. So good move. Are they the biggest threat to Golden State? I'm right there with Nick. I have to see what Kevin Durant, Kyrie do. If both of those guys go to the West, which would be insane. That would change my mind. But as it stands today,
as of right now, yes.
As of right now, yes, 100%.
100%, 1,000%.
All right, we got one more topic for you guys before we wrap it up. PJ Tucker, the Philly Rockets, Daryl Morey, James Harden, trying to reassemble some of the guys that were there during the Magic years in Houston. Got PJ Tucker on a 3-year deal. I believe Daniel House is on a 1-year deal. There were reports from Shams and also some other Philadelphia reporters, insiders, that Harden was going to be meeting with Morey and Daryl Morey and the Philadelphia front office this weekend about negotiating an extension. It's a deal. As we know, he declined that option, and with hopes of taking less money to try to get some guys around him and Embiid, try to compete for a championship. Michael, what's your thoughts on the move?
I think PJ Tucker is a phenomenal player to be added to any team. He helped Miami quite a bit this year just for his defense presence and his three in the corner that he shoots lots out. I think his leadership. There we go. His leadership that he brings to the team as far as the vet is very valuable as well. I hate that he went with Philadelphia 76ers in my own biased judgment there. I wish he would have stayed with Miami. I do think that hurts Miami just a tad bit not having him. But I do think he is – I mean, how old is he now? 36, 37?
Who's that? PJ?
Yeah.
Yeah, around like 37.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's definitely getting up there in years, and some of his playing time's definitely going to start dwindling. But Philly Rockets, I just now caught that, what you were saying with them all bringing back. Wow, I can't believe I missed that. But it's interesting. It didn't work in the Rockets without Chris Paul. So that's my only thing is I feel like we're replaying back some things that are just going to repeat, really. Like I was saying, I like the PJ Tucker sign for any team. I just don't think it's going to work for the Sixers on this at all, though. I feel like Sixers are almost just a dumpster fire waiting to happen. But I might be a bit extreme on that. I just don't like James Harden. Like, where has James Harden went that has actually ended up doing good? I mean, yes, they have great years and everything, but they just can't ever do anything in the playoffs. And I just feel like we're going to get the same thing from them. So, I mean, yes, they're contenders. Yes, they're a great team, but I just feel like they're always going to come up short. It may not be fair that I say that, but that's just how I feel.
It's fair. I mean, like I said, those guys haven't produced in the playoffs. Embiid hasn't been out of the second round his entire career. And we know what James Harden does when it's money time. So, I mean,
he disappears.
Yeah. So, I mean, those points are completely valid. Nick
must be a magician because, poof, he's gone.
Thanks.
Man, PJ Tucker is always the missing piece as far as elevating a playoff team. We saw it in Milwaukee when they won the championship. We saw it in Miami as they made it to the conference finals this past season. I think that this is a really big loss for Miami, honestly. I feel like this is a team that needed like an enforcer like PJ Tucker, and now that he's headed to Philly, I feel like he's going to help them elevate. Obviously, he's not an offensive type player that other guys are, but him bringing that defensive intensity, him bringing that toughness, that dog, that tough mentality to the team. I feel like it's going to help elevate Philly moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Brings a championship identity. Brings the experience. He has a great relationship with James Harden. We know what he does in that corner pocket three ball. Still has ability to space the floor. Even though he's up there in age, he still has some defensive versatility. Can guard 2 through 5, 3 through 5 if need be. So I think Doc, it's going to come down again. Like Michael just said, it comes down to your best players and your head coach, man. when you're talking about great teams like this and Doc Rivers, we know what his resume's been over the last couple of years. We know what Harden's resume's been pretty much his entire career in the postseason. And like I just said, Embiid hasn't been past the second round ever. So, they have to come together and really lock in. I think they have an opportunity to make a run. There's some real parity in the Eastern Conference. We just saw two different teams go to the finals last year out of the Eastern Conference. So if I'm a Sixer fan, I'm very confident that I could be a team that can do the same. And I like the move, and Harden is no excuses. I respect him for taking less money and trying to build a contender for this Philadelphia team. And the time is now. The time is now for him. He has a clear opportunity right now to change the narrative of his career, and we'll see what happens going forward.
Yeah, I want to say more, but there's just I don't believe in Doc Rivers, and I don't believe in 76ers, and until they prove me wrong, I'm going to ride that boat. It's kind of like me in college with Gonzaga.
Doc Rivers is going to win that title for you, Michael.
And then I'm going to say, hi, my name is Michael Lawson, and I apologize for saying Doc Rivers could never win another ring without Rajon Rondo. Bam!
Without Paul Pierce.
He had to poop, man. He had to be in a wheelchair. It's okay. We can win without him.
Yeah, he has to get it right. But
listen, and this is not on the topic, but can we not give some respect to Rajon Rondo in those years? Like, he was averaging.
Oh, yeah, without question. Rondo was probably one of my personal favorite players around that time.
I mean, I say it jokingly because I don't think he gets that much respect. But, I mean, he was averaging like 15, 20 assists in those
He was an elite
playoffs.
Playmaker. An elite playmaker.
He was a dog, man. He was definitely one of the best in the early 2010s.
What's crazy is he's still in the league, he still plays.
I just randomly started thinking about that Rondo photo in Kentucky with the kick.
Yeah, that was insane.
I got that.
Insane.
Boys, I think we brought it today. We're over 2 hours, but yet, CJ, thank you again so much on bringing all those points and all those highlights. Awesome. I think that adds a great aspect to the show. We brought it, and I'm already texting out some of these timestamps that I try to write down, so we'll see how that goes. Guys, everyone that's still watching this show, hopefully you're still with us. Go check us out on YouTube. We have Count the Bucket on YouTube. We have a Twitter Count the Bucket. We've got a TikTok Count the Bucket. We have
Count
a
the Bucket
Facebook.
TikTok dance moves coming soon.
Uh-oh. Ooh, we might have to have a dance-off and see who does it the best. CJ's like, no, man, I ain't in that.
Good.
Yeah. But go follow everything you can on Count the Bucket. Of course, the podcast. I have neglected to put some of those on there, but I actually told my wife yesterday. I took the computer downstairs away from the office here. She asked me, why am I bringing it? I said, I've got to designate some time to put all this on the podcast because we've got to stay consistently with that. So, again, I apologize for that. But tomorrow I'm off, and I'm going to try to wake up and knock that stuff out, get everything posted back on there. So, definitely going to stay at that a lot more. Guys, I'm just going to be honest. We coming. We about to make this Count the Bucket.
Big moves coming soon.
So stay with us. We got this. You're going to say, Bleacher Report. No, let me check in with Count the Bucket, baby. Because that is the content we bring.
We're gonna have a reporting team. We're gonna have sources.
Boom, we got logos. We're gonna have merch. We're gonna have some shirts.
Let's get it, man.
Hey,
excited for what's next.
So, with that being said, thank you guys and gals. Of course, when I say guys, I mean everyone, or thems and theys, whoever you are. Thank you for joining the show. Nick, go ahead, and then CJ follow. Give us your shout-outs, what all shows you got. And then I just lost all of our followers.
Follow me on Twitter at Nick Andre, or follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Nick Andre ATR. Posted basketball content on the regular. I also have another podcast, The Hoop Truther. Shout out to my co-host Agu. New episode coming out tomorrow. Follow us at Hoop Truther Pod. As far as for me, Forgotten Players Part 2.5 coming next month. Be on the lookout for that.
Who's the first player?
I can't spell that yet.
Do you even have one yet?
I do. It's
okay.
I mean, I was actually gonna start it this month,
with Rajon Rondo. Please bring Rajon Rondo.
Why would I bring Rondo?
Because I honestly feel like
he's still playing.
I know, but his style and what he did with Boston, I think, has been forgotten.
We'll have to make that an article. Definitely.
Okay, I'll take that. And ladies, he has been kissed before. I apologize for saying that earlier. He has been kissed before. Okay.
By my mom.
Whoa.
Not like that. Not like that. Not like that.
Okay, quick question. Do you all not think it's weird when like moms and dads will kiss their kids on the mouth? Or are you all okay with that?
It's cool when they're little.
Yeah, when they're little.
Like, but when they get like 6-7 years old, it's like okay.
Because I mean, I ain't calling nobody out because there's people still watching that may be on my Facebook page. But I know a grown person. I won't decipher on which gender to cut it down even more. That is a grown person that I've seen their parent and that person kiss on the lips, like "Okay, bye, I love you," and like. We live in Kentucky. We don't need to be doing that because we already have the stereotypes that we're incest and everything anyways. Like, come on, let's cut this off here, okay?
Oh, my God.
Like,
wrap it up.
I mean, seriously, that's what everybody always says, right? Have y'all ever heard of those? Like, oh, if it's Kentucky cousins and all. See,
sure.
It's already out
all those places,
so, like, I just think it's weird. And even my kids, I have never kiss them on the mouth on purpose, like, of course, when they're babies, whatever, they'll turn into it, because I just think it's weird. Like, I don't want to ever do that. Like, am I odd on that or what?
I mean, you're the only one here with the kids, so I mean,
CJ, can you see you kissing your child?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't see myself doing that. I mean, it's a little different to me. I don't know. I'm good.
Okay, Nick, if you had a child. Would you go to
like I said? I mean, like,
and say, "Honey, I love you. Good night." Mwah, right on the
if they're like 8-9 years old, no. No. Like if they're like around like I'll say from the time they're a baby to like 4 or 5 years old, then it's okay. But 6 and going on, it's not.
So if they're in school, if they can get in trouble for it at school, it's time to quit it, right?
I guess if you want to say, yeah.
I just think it's so nasty, boys. Guys, parents out there, quit kissing your babies on the mouth. Come on, man. This world's jacked up already, anyways. Okay. Yeah. With that being said,
Linktree.com/cjames9. You can find all my content. Got a new Knicks channel called Knicks Boulevard. I look out for that, covering all things Knicks. Guard Up Pod, new episode on the way. New YouTube channel for the Guard Up Pod called Guard Up NBA. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the YouTube channel here, Unwrapped Sports. People that's watching on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter. Appreciate everybody watching us and tuning in. Patriots, also all Patriots content coming soon as well for my NFL heads called Forever Patriots. YouTube channel out as well. And IG also. So look out for me, man. We're trying to make moves in this second half of the year.
Sounds good. And for myself, you can, and guys, I will say this. CJ is really grinding right now, putting out as much content as he can, and it's all good stuff. Excuse me.
Appreciate you, brother.
And of course, Nick, you too. CJ's been very active.
I don't work hard enough, man. Like, I don't work as hard as CJ.
Okay. I mean, you're the one that said it, not me. But, follow me on all social media platforms at MDLawson00. My link tree is in the bio as well and all that stuff. Of course, follow Count Bucket USN on Twitter and TikTok. Follow us everywhere, man. Just be a part of it. Be a part of us and be with us because we are going to the moon, as they say. As Unwrapped Sports jumps in real quick and says, "What a show, boys. We appreciate it." And, of course, go follow the YouTube channel of Unwrapped and Count the Bucket as well because everything that Unwrapped Sports does goes through the YouTube channels for sure. So, in case something were to mess happen on something, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, we at least got it on YouTube and even Twitch as well. So, guys, with that, You all have a good one. Until next time, keep hooping.
Keep hooping, deuces.
See you guys next week.
Keep hooping and